Hello, men. Hello, Mgtows. Since the last podcast, a couple hours ago, I've had some questions from PUAs. Why do Mgtow men concern themselves with PUAs? Why do Mgtow men concern themselves with such things? And I would ask the same of PUA. Why would P... So the question would be why PUA would concern themselves with Mgtow. On the same spectrum, on the other side of the spectrum, why do PUAs concern themselves with Mgtow? Are they worried that Mgtows are not going to get laid? That's the ridiculous statement. On the other hand, Mgtow's worried that a Mgtow will wander off and get a female pregnant and then have the rest of his life ruined. Will end up in the family courts, will end up hanging himself, will end up in a suicidal act or a suicidal rumination, will end up having half of his money taken, will end up getting possessions taken, houses taken. It seems there's a little bit of a difference there. It seems like the difference is the PUA is worried about getting laid. There's no psychology underneath the PUA. The only terms and conditions are that the end result is getting laid, because that is the only end result of PUA. What else is there? Is there some red pill philosophy in there? Is there something that's going to improve your lifestyle? No. It's simply about seeking validation from the fairer sex, about using the fairer sex, about your penis. But on the other end of the spectrum, there's Mgtow. What do we worry about? We worry about men being successful. We worry about men becoming slaves. We worry about men getting herded through the gynocentric system so that the gynocentric system can extract utility from them every step of the way. That's what we worry about in Mgtow. Them are the things we worry about men. We worry about men. We worry about your future. We worry about our future. Most of us have seen it, enacted it, played the game, been through it. We can tell you about these things. We can tell you about where the road's going to end. And I call it the bridge to nowhere. We can tell you about the pain. We can tell you about what happens when you lose your house. That day she decides that she wants you gone. That day where the police show up and you're allowed to take your bag of clothes and your fishing pole with you, and then she will sell all the rest of your possessions. She will run up your bills. She will have a lawyer. She will already have a lawyer. The thugs will remove you from your house. You will never get to see your children again. That's what we warn you about in Mgtow. All of these things are valid. All of these points are valid. But we go back to the PUA. The question that I was asked a few times since the last broadcast, a PUA was raging out on my forums and asking questions. Why do we care? Why do we care? Because it's a falseness about it. There's a falseness about what they project for men. They say you're going to do this and your life's going to be happy. There's some wealth building process in PUA. Can anybody tell me what that wealth building process is? Paying for drinks, paying for dinners, inviting people in your house that will steal from you, inviting women. There's a cost to all that. And I know Nico does the cost analysis, and he says he gets it for about $1.68 every time. I find that hard to believe. I find that hard to believe. It's not about For a Mgtow at that point, all that seems silly. All that seems garbage, because what you're doing is you're inviting your own death into your own camp. And that's what I look at. That's what I look at when I see the PUAs ask those questions. And the obvious is, it's so important for them that it's so important. This little slit between a female's legs is so important to them that they started a whole program that they need to defend. And it's alternate mating strategies. That's all it is. Why didn't the original mating strategy work? Okay, let's ask yourself that question. Let's do the logic, the reasoning, the Mgtow reasoning on this. Why do you need an alternate mating strategy as a PUA? Obviously, it's because the original mating strategies don't work. The original mating strategies have lasted 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 years, a million years we've been on this planet. And the original mating strategies have always worked. Now, somewhere since 1970, PUAs want to develop an alternate mating strategy. And all of a sudden, it doesn't work. The original mating strategies that lasted millions of years, all of a sudden doesn't work. For who? Oh, Mgtow's irrational response to that, why it doesn't work. Why it doesn't work is because females are in hyperdrive. They can't get rid of some of the original mating strategies. We have to live in a social structure that men are considered less. So that was some of the questions I fielded. Hello, Dr. Leonard McCoy, and hello, Nuptial. That was some of the questions I've been fielding. I took a walk up to the store, got some pastelitos and some rice. Had to walk up to the Mexican store. And pastelitos, if you don't know what they are, they're soft shell tacos, and then you deep fry them, and you kind of seal them in that dough, and then you deep fry them, and they got meat and cheese inside of them, and it's then everybody knows beans and rice, but that's what I went and got for lunch. And I invited some guys in. I don't know if they'll show up. We'll see. We had an interesting discussion about religion and about your own personal views on whatever that is for you, and you're allowed to have that. And you're allowed to have that if you want. Anywhere in any country, you're allowed to have that. And except on the internet, except on the oh, look, Dr. Warren Farrell. Should I invite him in? Nah, he'd never come in. I invited Warhorse in. Except on the internet, where everybody has to be atheist. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm hoping someone will come in here. So we talked earlier about a variety of subjects, a variety of things that men do, a variety of Mgtow things. We really hit back on the points of hypergamy and gynocentrism and that. PUA bake tag. Is that a tag? Big tag. Equals bake tag. What is bake tag, Dr. McCoy? That's barking at, I don't know. I don't know. So I'm just here waiting. I opened up the 4 o'clock hour. I probably should have waited for somebody to come in before I open these things up. But the 4 o'clock hour is what I had planned, and the 4 o'clock hour is what I will do. And I was a few minutes late on that. I hate these new earplugs. I got a new pair of earplugs. I got those old cheap ones that come with the Sony phone. Not the Sony phone, the Samsung phone. Because mine busted. My good pair busted. I was just wiggling them one day and the wire came loose, and they're no good after that. I can only hear out of one ear, and it bothers me. But these ones, they bother me too. No, it's a Klingon. It's a Klingon insult. Back tag. How would you pronounce that? That's the Klingon, a back tag. I don't make a very good Klingon. I probably wouldn't make a very good Klingon. I can't. What I would make. Uh, what kind of figure I would look like from the Star Trek thing. Not a Ferengi, that's for sure. I'm tall. Klingons are, Klingons are pretty tough guys. I don't think I'd make it in that society. No, but it's been interesting around here lately. The PUAs want to call themselves Mgtows, and it's garbage. As long as you're doing that, you're searching for validation, or your whole life is around your whole life. If the moment you get home from work to the moment you go back to work on Monday morning, your whole weekend, every night in between is every thought is about how to get a girl, then really just that's not Mgtow. That's not Mgtow. And they say, oh, it's about sex. Did you ever interact with a person that did you ever interact with another person? I mean, that's what the question that I have to ask. Have you ever been around a woman? And obviously they haven't, because it's not like that. It's not like that. You develop you develop it was the same you would with any person. You bond and you develop a a kindness. You develop a respect or whatever. When you're around someone, you talk and you're nice to them, and they're nice to you, and you have a friendship going. And it can't never be simply about sex. It can never be simply about sex, because you're disregarding so much else with the human, form, with the human condition. And they're trying to tell me disregard everything else about the human condition, but that's 99.9% of everything else. And they're just saying, no, it's just about sex. Yeah, yeah, right, right. Uh, that's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous statement. You can't do that. Anytime you involve with any kind of person, you become enamored to them. You become their friend. You bond with them. That's where the mistrust comes in. That's where things go haywire. That's where people find out that they don't quite get along. That's where people find out that there's malintent by some people. Some people's motives from the beginning are bad. Most women's motives from the beginning are bad. When you're a PUA, you're just acting like a woman. Your motives are bad. It's with foul intent. Why would I trust that man in my life? Why would he's saying another, and then they come back and they say, oh, you guys hate women because we love women. Yeah, you love women too much, but you're coming to them with foul intent. And that's the same way you would come to me, with foul intent, with bad intent. You're telling on yourselves. PUAs tell on themselves. And that's the only thing I wanted to say about PUAs. They don't seem to get it. They just never seem to get it. It's very sad. It's saddening. It's their whole life is about that. So I was going to eat my pastelitos, but I'll save those for later. My beans and rice. They make some great beans and rice up there. It's got little hunks of hot jalapenos in there, and I really like it. And that'll be my dinner tonight. Pastelitos from the convenience store. We don't really have a lot of convenience stores around here. We have a couple stores. We have, and usually they're Hispanic stores. And if you've ever been in a really good Hispanic store, they got the section where there's hot food, and most of the time it's Hispanic food, and it's really good. We got like 2 or 3 of those within walking distance or bike pedaling distance, and I can go up there anytime. Not a lot of mainstream stores in my area. So How was your Sunday? How was your Sunday, man? What are you doing? Red beans and rice from Popeye's Chicken. Yeah, I like Popeye's Chicken, red beans and rice, but that's kind of they just do a little red sauce on there, and but I do like Popeye's Chicken. But the store that I went to sells chicken too. It's really great. I can just walk up there anytime. We have two stores. I have a Subway, which my girlfriend is in. I call her my girlfriend because she makes me sandwiches. Uh, and I say, hi, Jill. And she says, hi, Joe. And it's the same thing. And I say, yeah, same thing. And then she makes it for me. I hand her $5. She says, thanks a lot, Joe. And then I put $1 tip in her tip jar. She goes, thanks, Joe. And I walk out with my sandwich. And then 2 or 3 days later, we go through that motion again. That's my girlfriend. That's the extent of our relationship. She makes me sandwiches. And then we have it's a convenience store that's they have chicken, and they have Chester fried chicken, the Chester fried chicken store, but they have beans, rice, pastelitos, and stuff like that in there too. It's really great. I like it. But they fired the retarded girls, and the retarded girls made really good chicken. And I want them to hire back the retarded girls because that's what they did in life. They made chicken for me, and I got quite used to that over 10 years. It's a shame, you go to some place and then they have someone to cook is really a great cook, and then all of a sudden you go in there the next time and the food's for shit, and they fired the cook. It's like, God damn, go get him back, because that's the only reason I come in here. Whether it be a female or a male too, I don't care who cooks for me. That's just the way I like it. Hey, Tony Broom, how you doing today? Just waiting to see if anybody's going to show up. Who do you want me to invite in? Who wants to come in? Who do you want me to invite in and talk to today? I was just going to do this after I started the podcast. Shiny said he came in. Red Pill making. Let me go over to the G Plus page and see who's in. No one's online. That's why no one's coming in. Oh, Howard Dare. I should invite Howard Dare, and I always have a great talk with Howard Dare. I like Howard. He got kind of, he said fuck you to somebody today. That was funny. I got a kick out of that. Let me invite him in. Hey, Joe W. Oh, he's not showing up. Oh, there he is. I could invite Howard Taft in. That would be an interesting talk. Howard Taft from the old president. I think he's got the old president, Howard Taft, on there too. That's funny. Okay, place to request. Hey, about to get Chinese. I wish we had a Chinese place around here. When a community falls into extreme poverty, when the steel mill and here in where I live closed up, and they shut 5 of their. They had 1, 2, 3, 4. They had 4, 2 electrics and 2 gas and 2 oxygen induction. Whatever they call them, I can't remember at this moment. And then they shut one down, and they shut another one down, and then now they do what's pipe rolling. They just do pipe rolling now, but with that process, they only need like maybe 200 guys in the plant, which used to employ like 10,000 guys. And with that came extreme poverty. The Ford plant shut down, the GM plant shut down, and they moved. We used to have a tool company around here too. It was one of the Ridge Tool. Ridge Tool used to be here, and Moan Fawcett used to be here. That was the five big that kept our community, and every one of them left. Now everybody's scrambling around here to see what they can do to fix that. But with extreme poverty, you can see the first things that shut down were the hardware stores. Nobody was going to the hardware stores. No one will go to the little stores. You can drive up through what we used to call 28th Street, and they rerouted that into another street for truck traffic now. You just goes through our town, which is just funny. It's just funny. The trucks go through our town now. They pick up stress and hatred, and then they leave. But but the first thing that closed down and stuff like that is all the hardware stores. And you notice that. That's the first thing I noticed. And then I noticed the houses all going up for sale. And then I noticed all the Chinese places closed down. And then I noticed all the fast food places around closed down. And then you'd have no hardware. You had no. We have empty buildings around here now, and each used to be. And then what stays is always the mom and pop stores, the beer stores, the liquor stores, the hair cutting places, the churches, and pretty much the subway. And then, but we lose everything else. Anything else that's what extreme poverty looks like. When you look about our town, there's like 10 closed buildings, and then there's like a subway, and then a hair cutting place, and then a church, and then there's 10 more closed buildings, and then there's a subway or one of the fast food little small stores. They can a tattoo shop. Yeah, we got tattoo shops in those section of closed up building. The tattoo guy can get a rent in that little section for like $200 a month. But and then they won't rent the places out to you. To me, they want like $800 a month from me if I want to put a regular business in there. Like I do want to put in. They're like, oh, okay. They look at me and go, okay, it's $800, hoping that somebody's going to pay $800 for rent in that store. And I say, well, why don't you just sell the store to me? And then I'll just take a loan for that. And then no, but they want to rent it for $800 because they're suffering too. They're suffering. The landlords are suffering terribly. They can't rent their stores. No stores around here. Used to be big stores and bars. We had this section of strip on 28th Street that used to be renowned in the state for having the most amount of bars in a mile period of road, because right across the street, the guys from the steel mill would just come out and they would just saturate those bars on closing, and then they'd go in and out and get stuff for dinners and lunches and stuff like that, and they'd buy products from them and everything. But all those bars closed up, so it's just a long mile of emptiness now and sadness. It's a mile of sadness is what it is. Had Thai rice for breakfast. Hey, I like Thai rice too. We don't have a Thai store around. We don't have a Chinese store or a Chinese restaurant. We have no restaurants until I can drive 2 or 3 miles, to the where the Ford plant's located, maybe 4 or 5 miles. And then there's another town there. And then they have like good restaurants because Ford's still there and GM's still there and the power plant's still there. Hello, Asian Mass. Hello, Haradera. Are you actually in? He's probably setting up his sound. Well, Howard's halfway in. We'll just keep talking. So that's what extreme poverty looks like, and we get that around here. And I think it was like 4 years ago they did the closest town to me is Lorraine, and they did the worst town in America, and I think we made like third. And then they said it was that they looked at it and showed it. It was like a ghost. They said it was like a ghost town. It's just closed up stores. That's it. And it doesn't affect me much in my line of business and what I do. Nothing affects me very much. Since I've gone Mgtow, nothing affects me very much. I live my life away from those people. I don't involve myself with those. Great. Now I'm probably going to get 12 PCs from from Popeyes now. Yeah. So there is one left store up there, and it's a local store, and that's what happens. People start. You just left with your local. The people in the neighborhood. They have these local stores that they've owned. That's what they were trying to squeeze out before. The big businesses were trying to squeeze out and get all that big business money and squeeze the little guys out. But after the big business corporations left, the big business pull out, and they forget that they squeezed all the little guys out already. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 guys that made it through the whole thing, and they're doing well now. But you know, that's how it works. Hello, Howard. Was that your sound I've heard?
Can you hear me okay over there? No, you're still not getting my sound.
Yes, I can.
Oh, you can hear me.
Not getting your sound. I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, good.
It was a little crackly at first, but it's okay now.
Okay, I'm setting up a new microphone and stuff like that, and it's a little tricky, but I hope it's coming through okay.
Yeah. You get once in a while you get that little bap 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 at the end, but it seems okay. What kind of microphone did you buy?
Okay, well, yeah, I'm still working on it. You know, I'm doing the Hangouts all by myself just so that I can learn, you know, and test out my equipment. So I'm sorry if it's not coming through clearly.
Okay. I can lower the bandwidth down to nothing. There we go. Now the bandwidth is down to nothing. And I don't know what, every time I come in here, it seems to readjust my bandwidth. And I know I need to put my bandwidth down to almost nothing. So the you know, I'm not, it doesn't matter to me what the video does.
Yeah,
I want the audio.
I understand.
Yeah. But that's what we do. So how are you today? What's going on?
I'm just getting new equipment working and trying to work on this sound to get it straight. So when I got your invitation, I was first thinking, oh, I'm busy working on the sound. And then I thought, I'll just go in there and work on the sound. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. I can share controls with you, and then you'll have
No, that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm
Don't
trying.
want control?
No, I don't want control. I'm afraid of control at this.
Okay. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. I could probably do something with your sound here. Let me see what I can do. I think it sounds okay. It's just that last little Frankenstein thing. You know how it happens. It goes. Yeah. But that might be your. That's probably audio drivers. Sometimes I go out and I'll do is when my sound goes off, I'll erase my audio drivers and then I'll restart my machine, and then Microsoft will automatically pick up my audio drivers and then they'll reinstall them, and then I'll have fresh audio drivers.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
So sometimes you just have to reinstall your.
I'm cutting back on my microphone volume levels. Does that help any bit? You know, I don't know. It's you can't monitor the sound yourself.
It's hard to say. Yeah, it's hard to say. Hey, Shining, how's Howard's sound? I'll ask Shining. He's in the pot. It's hard for me to tell sometimes, and
well, it's impossible.
I don't know until I. Yeah, I just do the things that I know work, and then when I go back on the playback and I listen, I say, "Oh well, the sound was okay," and sometimes we worry about it too much. Timothy, but what about Shoe on Head? What's she doing now? Sounds perfect. Yeah, he says it sounds perfect.
Really outstanding. I'm trying to mix my microphone voice with the computer voice, and I'm using some software to virtual mix it.
Oh, okay.
Voice meter, and I don't think I can do both at the same time. You know, like I don't think I can talk and play music because I don't think the bandwidth is there. But I think I could talk or play music.
Yeah, you could do one or the other. Yeah, it's tricky. You get it. I just use a fairly decent, but I got a fairly decent sound card. So I was going to buy a new sound card when I bought the computer, but the guy was a real dick. And when I went up to the stand, I have low tolerance for people like that. He was like talking on a phone to his girlfriend or something. And I was like, oh, I want a new sound card put in this computer. I want you to take the old sound card out, and this is what I want. And then I already knew what sound card I wanted. And he's like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. And I was like, okay, fuck you. And I walked away. I wasn't going to argue with him. He wanted to sell me some
food politely.
Yeah, they always want to sell you something more than, I'm buying a new computer from the same shop. Just put the fucking sound card I want in it,
Yeah, you've spent the money,
Yeah. Yeah, I've already spent the money. It would have been a difference of like $22 or something. And I was like, big deal. Just put the sound card in there and I'll pay the $22,
Yep. Yeah, I hate
MRE.
When they are working in a service job and they're just like not paying attention.
Yeah, they don't get it sometimes. It's like, the store is going to make the same amount of money anyways. I bought the computer already, and they just want to do their little business sale pitches and act like salesmen and shit. Yeah, they're talking about MREs. I love MREs. I like MREs. I don't like MRAs, but I like MREs. No, the little canned ones and the pork. I hated the pork. We're always looking for something else. Like nobody wanted the pork, or we'd collect up all the pork cans in the MREs, and the cook would take them all and put them in a thing, and he'd make something like he'd pour barbecue sauce over them and get some bread, and then that's the way we'd use the pork on those things. Yeah. The little canned pork. But if you tried to eat that canned pork and heated it up like they said, it was, oh God, it was horrible. Them weren't MREs, them were sea rats. Yeah, sea rations. God, I hated the MREs. Just add water, and you got chili. And those were okay. But the sea rats, I was in the Army when they were transferring over, and we still had them old, I don't know if they're old. They were just still making them. It was nasty. But they're good for storage. And the MREs are great for storage and the survivalist thing.
In a nuclear holocaust or zombie apocalypse, they'll come in handy.
Yeah, I just say stock up on your rice, and always have like the big bag of rice around. That'll last you a whole year, and then you can just kill rats.
Yeah, and if you get hungry,
at that point there's going to be no social stigma about it, and everybody else will be like, I'm not going to kill that rat, and I'll be like, fuck that, I'm taking it.
Rat on a stick, with some barbecue sauce.
Yeah, rat on a stick. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I had a buddy who used to bring rats to work, and the females would freak out about it, and they wouldn't complain about him so much. He says, well, he's eating rat in lunch, and it's turning, the girls were like, and the manager came over and says, you can't do that no more to him. And he's like, why? And he says, this is what we eat where I come from. And it was a muskrat or something that's made for that. And he's like, they made him stop doing that. He sat in a corner for like a month after that and wouldn't talk to nobody. That's like, but I can see his point. It's just what he ate. Sure. That's what he liked. It was kind of when he would chew on the head portion and the little rat teeth were sticking down. That's when I was like, man, turn that the other way, or remove the head. That's all you have to do. He's like, I like the head. But that's what used to freak him out. But the women said no, they're regulating what he could eat. They did that well. Hello, Veritech Ace. Veritech Ace came in late on the last podcast, and he's like, it's closing down. Who else came in like at the very last second? Red Pill Gaming. I invited Red Pill Gaming in, and he may come in, he may not come in. If he sees shining around, maybe he'll come in. I don't know. It'd be an interesting conversation. So Sunday in Mgtow. You get any bad comments today, Howard?
Yeah, I get. I'm getting more and more crazy comments coming out of the woodwork. Stuff that's got nothing to do with Mgtow. It's just people that are in a different, kind of category, like an angry racist or I don't know, a feminist, like a male feminist, and they're coming to a Mgtow channel, taking all the time to watch a Mgtow video, finding like one or two problems with it, and then,
Yeah.
finding, acting like they've invalidated the whole principles of Mgtow. And it's hard for me to not comment and start an argument with them, but I stop myself and I just go working on my next video.
Yeah, I've got one. I can read the comment to see if we can go over it. And I just got one about PUA. The PUA guy was making comments and his question, I erased one of them, and I should have kept it because it was first he comes off, and he always start off real reasonable. He says, I'm reasonably new to Mgtow, and I've been listening to Mgtow material for 3 months now. Can someone please explain my Mgtows are constantly debating with PUAs. My only reservation about Mgtow is that as so much as some truly exceptional content, there is a preoccupation with defining the philosophy movement. Now, he's defining the red pill philosophy as something different than Mgtow from that point on. Vice versa, PUA and feminism and MRA, to me, they're not all at the same level. Of course, they're not all at the same level. And he goes, when I see the demand for shit like this, and he's talking about my video, I get the impression that some Mgtows are losers from whom PUA didn't work. The thing is, I've got 3 kids. I've had hundreds of girlfriends. I don't need PUA. There's no point in my life where I need PUA. The inception in PUA philosophy. What is PUA philosophy? Is PUA a red pill philosophy? Do they have a philosophy? I thought PUA is about pickup artists, about picking up women. What kind of fucking philosophy do you need to pick up women? I have no problem in that capacity.
Yeah.
He's projecting by saying he thinks that Mgtows are losers because he thinks himself as a loser.
Absolutely. It's projection. You said something that hit a nerve, and the guy is responding emotionally, so he's attacking you, and he's finding some ridiculous inconsistency or something he perceives to be a fault, and then he's
telling me that MRA, PUA, and there's some philosophy movement behind that. There's no philosophy behind that. PUA is just about picking up women. That's it. That's all it is. There's no philosophy. There's no for 100 million years we've been doing this. And it's an alternate mating strategy to what used to work. What happened to the old mating strategy that worked for 1 million years? Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, in this 30-year period that PUA's been around, they have some alternate mating strategy that is some philosophy movement that's working better than the last 1 million years. That's fucking ridiculous. It's like all they're doing is telling on themselves that they're going to PUA because they're having problems with the mating strategies that have worked for 1 million years. So they're coming up with, and then they're projecting on the Mgtow like we're having. No, we don't have no problems in that capacity. First of all, we don't do that. Second of all, most of the men have been through the mill and have done that, been there, done that. I can tell them about what's going to go wrong. It's not us that don't understand. They're just projecting. It's them that don't understand.
Why are they so upset? What is it that's
why are they so upset? Every month or so, Aaron Clary and the deplorable men from the Return of Kings find it amusing to come over to Mgtow and make a Mgtow video and say they're Mgtow. No, they're not.
Well, it helps them to validate their own worldview. They go around every once in a while, find somebody who they don't agree with, and they mock them or make fun of them and give them a hard time, and then they feel a little bit better about themselves, and then they move on. But
Yeah.
it's
I
like,
mean,
what
did
am
you
I
ever
going
look at the picture of those guys? I wanted to show everybody the picture. We did in one video.
Mhm.
None of them size up to me. None of them size up to me. I think very highly of myself. And you know how I think very highly of myself? I would not take a skank girl from a bar into my life. I'm not out there picking up some skank. That's no problem for me.
Yeah, the idea that a man would have some standards, that he might look at a particular woman and say, no, I don't want that woman. She's disgusting.
Yeah.
No, they're
I
just...
don't have a problem. I don't have a problem finding a woman. I have a problem finding a woman that's good enough for me. And that's what we're saying in Mgtow.
Absolutely.
Then none of them are good enough for me. None of them act right anymore. None of them are right anymore. I don't have a problem finding a woman. There's 1,000 what I would consider sevens in my neighborhood, chicken head sevens. There's thousands of them everywhere I look. Yeah, I find that, but none of them are good enough for me. As soon as they open up their mouth, it's like, I can't believe some of the garbage.
You just go to a bar and have $100 bill hanging out of the top pocket of your jacket or shirt.
That's it. Yeah, I have $100 bill. I might as well just put $100 bill out of my lapel, and they can see that, and then they can grab that $100 bill, and that's what PUA is. That's my version of PUA.
It'll work.
I don't even have to buy a drink.
No, you don't even have to really talk or anything like that.
Don't even have to talk. Yeah.
No,
if I was going to do that. The less they talk, the better, because I don't have to hear that stupidity. That's perfect, Oh man, but I don't understand it. And then we get what else do we get around Mgtow? We get these social justice warriors that have some concern trolling to do. They're concerned about what we're doing, and then when the white nationalists are concerned that we're not breeding enough.
Yeah, they just want to co-opt any. They just want to co-opt anything that they can get in on. You know what I mean? They don't even care what it is. They're just like,
they don't even care what it is. The atheist movement. Yeah, the atheists are concerned that we believe in God, or if you believe in God, or you don't have to believe in God. You can believe in whatever you want. That's my choice. But they're concerned with that. The skepticism, people are so skeptical about everything. They're concerned about everything.
Yeah.
Their motto is everything. Everybody's wrong, and they have to work through every sentence of everything, so it fits their narrative of their small narrative of the world. Just walk away, Barrows. Just walk away. Just walk away. As I said, just walk away.
Gotta learn to recognize those comments early and not bother to read like 3 or 4 paragraphs into them until you find out at the end.
Yeah, I just kind of
black supremacist, social justice warrior, feminist. And
I don't ban them. I don't ban them anymore. What I do is I just erase the comment and from the thread. And if they want to make another comment that's more sensible, I give them that option now. They can keep. I can erase comments all day from my phone.
Yeah, it's funny stuff.
Yeah, it's funny, danger, and then they'll come back again. Yeah, they can have all of that. They can have all of those skanks. It's a quote from
Joe,
Mad Max.
If you play a video, will the sound come through and play for the people watching the podcast?
No.
Unless it was like bouncing back through the microphone, through the speakers, right? Yeah.
Right. What I found is if I play a video, I have to take my headsets out and turn my my mic up against it. Then they can hear it. Otherwise, there is some stuff in that other one that you open up right away, but it doesn't give. If you're open up online, it doesn't. You have to take care of everything before you get in, and plan out. You have to like copy and paste what you want to put in at certain spots, and then that's what will play. And then you better hear the sound. I hear that's the way it is, but I'm not really high on that system because it starts right on air, and I don't have time to do things that I forget to do. Invite people in and get my mind, in order, and kind of take a breath and relax for a second. It just doesn't give me that time. I keep trying to show some guys. Yeah. Andy Hill brings up a good, he says he keeps trying to show some guys, but it's like guys are blind out there. And that's the frustration part. You can say something really, really logical to people at the men, but they look at you and they do that halfway cocked look, like a dog would look at you when it doesn't understand what you're saying.
Yep, like a high buzz.
Yeah, they just kind of cock their head, and you can know it's going one. My father used to call it going one ear and out the other. Yeah, that's the way people are. They have selective hearing. They don't want to hear what you got to say, and they're never going to hear it unless they're ready to hear it. Unless the little brains have something to actually trap it against, they're not going to hear it.
It's true. It's true. So if I were to do a screen share and play a video, the sound shouldn't be coming through to the podcast unless it was picking up through my microphone, right? Because that's what I want to be able to do.
It won't be. Yeah, you have to. There are apps out there, and who would know about Heartburn uses an app that he can do them things, but then you have to place right on the side here. There's right on the there's 3 little dots on the bottom on your left-hand side, and then you can add apps. I don't add apps because I don't know what they're going to do. I should experiment with that sometime, but I can add a drawing app and sit here and draw on things. I have a drawing app in here. I could probably add those apps and whatever app I have on Chrome, and there's probably got some good apps that'll work.
If I were to try to do a screen share, would that work on this Hangout?
Oh yeah, you can do a screen share.
I want to try to do a screen share.
Okay, yeah, you could do a screen share on this Hangout. Just press that little screen share button. There it is. Now click on your icon.
Okay, let me get back there.
Yeah, you got to put that little white line around your avatar.
White boxed.
I'll click it.
Now let me try to play that video. Is that playing?
No.
So try to screen share and play a video on, just a YouTube video. Is that showing up there? No.
No.
You are screen sharing, it says, but it's not playing the video. Let me check one other thing. No. Okay. Well, I wanted to give that a try, because I thought I would be able to play the video is what I was trying to do. You know what I mean? So sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's not. It's not showing up. You can't hear the sound for other people's videos, and that's a little frustration. Unless you turn your microphone, then it'll come through at the same time. Yeah.
Well, that's what I've been working on. That's to be able to do something like that.
Okay. Yeah, there's probably an app that'll do that, but you'll have to add that app, and then you go up to your settings up there, and then click on your settings, and then you can pick the microphone communications, and it'll probably, the app will give you it'll probably say something like via connection on this some other connection, and then you click on that, and then that'll go with the connection, whatever connection it goes through. And Yeah, I'm not sure. I've never tried it. I just unplug and turn
Trying to
my
share
microphone, which,
screen again.
yeah. And 28 days later, it was rabies. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Ebola they're talking about. Oh, there you go. Now you got to click on your cognomen.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to use these applications to adjust various things.
Yeah. Now let me click that on there. Bring you up. There you go.
And the idea is that I should be able to have a second source coming in on this side and playing through with both the screen video and the sound, but still working on it. So,
Okay. Yeah. I guess that would be through your mic. You'd have to go through the same track.
so I'm not getting any sound from you, Joe.
No, you're
Sometimes
not
this.
getting.
Oh, there
You're
you
not
are.
getting any sound from me. You can
No,
sound from me.
there you are. You're back.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't talking there for a minute. I was just kind of studying what that was. What?
I'm still screen sharing, and I didn't.
Yep.
Have I given that back to you?
There you go. Do you got your? Now you just press stop sharing when you want to stop share. Should be right up on the top. There you go.
There. That did it, I think, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Screen share is nice when I'm, when I'm just screwing around and I want to go to another page, and I'll usually just draw things on stars' faces and stuff like that because it's humorous. Oh, so what's going on? What's going on in the manosphere this week? We went over that Thursday, didn't we? There's no good. Okay, let's take. If anybody's got any questions or want us to talk about anything in the chat, please. Oh yeah, I knew a guy from Cincinnati that got mad cow from eating a burger in the Philippines. Got mad cow disease. That must have been awful. Oh God.
Yeah, I knew a girl once who I think had mad cow disease. She was crazy.
Did it? It did it. Well, her cerebrum, is that what it does? And then I don't know. Yeah, it gets up. It's parasitic and it gets in your head, and I'm really not sure how that one goes. I had a buddy that died from what's that? West Nile virus. Honest to God, he was a jogger, and they jog by these sewer grates, and the mosquitoes are in the sewers. They're supposed to kill the mosquitoes off in the sewers, and the community didn't, and he got West Nile virus, and fucking died. He was a great guy too.
Yeah.
He used to be a jogger. He would jog 8 miles a day, 10 miles a day, and what got him in the end was a mosquito.
Yeah. I think the number one killer of all time is malaria. Throughout all of history.
Yeah. Yeah, from a freaking mosquito.
Yep.
Imagine that. The littlest thing. What's the new one now? Someone was telling me about that. It starts with a Z. There's a new disease out there. Someone just got it in the United States. Zeta virus or Zeta virus. I can't remember what they called it. And it's a form of, I can't remember. Well, there's a new one going around. The Zika, Z-I-K-A, Zika virus. And they say that's not all that bad. It's probably just the same as what was that other virus that came through that would kill like one SARS. Yeah, it's like SARS. It's the new SARS.
Yeah, Yeah, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to end this video call because my sound is so messed up that I'm only getting like half of what you say, and I'm getting my own voice echoing back to me, so it's real confusing.
Okay. So
Gonna
it's
have
real
to walk
confusing.
around like bumping into things for an
Do you have
hour or
earphones
something.
in? Do you have earphones in?
Yeah, I do, but because I'm routing my sound through the mixer, it's feeding back to me in order for me just to hear you.
Okay, so you're getting a
My
delay.
sound back to me with
Okay,
a
so you'll
little
need to
delay.
re-download some audio
So I'm going to have to
drivers.
drop out here. Thanks for the invitation. I hope to, come back again when my technical difficulties are a little better. So I'll talk to you next time, Joe. Thanks.
Okay, you take care, Howard.
Thank you.
Okay, gotta push yourself, Tim. Okay, what were we talking about? What's a good subject for today? I could do the news, or I could just talk about Mgtow. We were talking about PUAs and why they're concerned with us. And that seems to be the point with why anybody's concerned with Mgtow. If you're not a Mgtow, Mgtow doesn't concern you. And the point about Mgtow is to improve your life. When these people come to Mgtow and they start saying these things, what they're saying is they don't want you to improve your lifestyle. They don't want you to enjoy any life you want. They want you to get back into misery loves company. They want you to get back into that and to have a little misery with your life because they're miserable, and they want you to share in that misery because everybody loves when you share in the misery. I think that whole idea like that, the idea of traditional suffering, you have to suffer for this, everybody's got to suffer so much, is what holds us down as men. We buy into along with that idea that suffering is an indication of your human condition. Uh, Suffering is an indication of the human condition. If the condition you are in is in a state of suffering, then that's an indication that you need to change things. And what you're we get a lot of Christians that say suffering is good and you have to suffer for this. And people in marriages generally, you have to suffer through it. But suffering in itself is an indication of the human condition. So it's telling you something is wrong. Uh, there is no solace in suffering. There is no solace in suffering. It just wastes your time. If you're thinking about that in that way, I can pretty much tell you it's wrong. When you feel when we look at life, a lot of people have figured out uh, TFM calls it R decay theory, and that's just R decay theory is just a theory of bacteria. Bacteria going, it's a circular logic that goes to the bacteria will grow, it produces, it does another thing in a certain state, then it kills off another bacteria, and then it eats that bacteria, and then it dies, and it goes. That's R decay theory. What I like to use is F to G theory. It's a more, but it measures peak happiness in your life, and I talk about peak happiness a lot. When you see that peak happiness, you want to mark that peak happiness, and then you want to mark your peaks of happiness, and you want to coincide that peak happiness to where you're doing well, and then you want to emulate that peak happiness. Now, bankers use F to G theory, and they mark and they log peak happiness, and when they're making the most amount of money, that's their happiness. And they log that. No, this is when I was making the most amount of money. This is when I was, and they put a little bar across that, and then that's where they try to sustain that at, because they're happy. That's their happiness. Now with life in general, what you should be looking at is when you are happy, that's where you want to stay, and then you want to log that and say, well, this makes me happy, and this makes me happy, and this makes me happy. With life, you wake up in the morning, and if you drink a bad cup of coffee, you can mark that as the downside of the G. I forget which one's the G. That was not a very good experience. So what you want to do is you want to get a good cup of coffee and say, oh, well, that was a lot better. And then I mark that F experience, and then I log that in my life, that was a good experience, and I want to emulate that every day of my life. Now I walk out and I say I'm wearing a very nice shirt, which I'm not now. I'm wearing my holy shirt. It's very whole. It's got holes all over it because I don't really give a shit because I didn't even comb my hair today. And I say, oh, this shirt makes me happy, and then I mark that in my life, and I log it. That's peak happiness. I like it. Makes me feel good. It makes me smell good. It's a nice shirt. And then I put that on. I had a nice cup of coffee. I have a nice shirt. I'm wearing a pair of comfortable jeans, and a comfortable jeans is that's a little peak happiness. Now with women in this thing, she wakes up, she starts yelling at you. Nope, you drop down there. You drop down there. You have to log that in your life, and then you say, oh, well, that wasn't a happy moment in my life. What would really make me happy is if she made me the coffee, and it was the coffee I liked, and she didn't open her big fucking mouth and yell at me. And that would be up. I'm logging that peak happiness moment again. And that's where everybody should be in life. And then we log all these things during the day. Does my job make me happy? Does my company make me happy? Does the company I keep make me happy? Do the friends I have make me happy? And then I got all these little measurements. Does the food I eat make me happy? Or am I eating something that somebody else is ordering me to eat? And that's what we will get with women a lot. You're no longer allowed to eat real mayonnaise. You're no longer allowed to eat real butter. You have to eat this parquet shit that's good for you. It's heart healthy. You're no longer allowed to eat that sugar cereal, the Captain Crunch, which I prefer. I prefer Captain Crunch. You have to, when she goes to the store, it's Fruit Loops. And you know, I say, well, this isn't my regular Captain Crunch. Now I've gone down to my peak happiness moment has ended. When I'm eating Captain Crunch in the morning and I'm drinking the coffee I want, I'm having a good morning. When I'm walking out of the house at the time I want to walk out of the house, I'm having a good day because I'm not forced to do this. And then we log all those things and we go upon our Mgtow lives. And then we're every time I hit a peak, I log it, and that's what I like. I like reading a book. I like a certain program. I like the way people talk to me, the friends I bring in my life, the way they talk to me. And then I exclude all those down moments of people that talk to me bad, people that shame me. I exclude those things. The people that want to get something from me, that I'm having low moments around, and I exclude those people. And then I start having a very steady, happy life. And that's what this thing's about. That's what Mgtow is about. I exclude all those things that don't make me happy. And that could be different for each one of you. That could be as simple as looking at, one of my friends always said to me, he says, I was picking out a bowling ball, and we were going through fire bolts and rhinos and hammers. And if you know bowling, you know all the bowling balls. And I was like, I don't know which one to buy. And he looked over at me. He says, Joe, you know what the best bowling ball is? I says, no, which is the best bowling ball? Please share that information with me. And he says, the bowling ball you want to look at when you open up that bag. And that's with life. The best thing is when you open up that bag. When I walk out into my living room, that couch I'm opening up that bag and I look at that couch that I wanted. It's not a couch somebody else picked up. It's my couch. I like that couch. My chair is my chair. The speakers I have sitting in front of me are mine. I picked those out because I like them. When I open up that big bag of life, it's what I want to look at. It's the same as a bowling ball. And when I take that bowling ball down the lane, and the lane is reflective of this world, and I throw that ball, I'm happy. I like the way it looks. I like the way it works. It's all in my head. And I know it's all in my head because there's probably a better bowling ball. But it makes me happy. It hits the pins fine. it comes back to me fine. Everything's the way I want it. Maybe it's not the best ball, but it's the ball I want to look at, and that makes me happy. And that has a lot to do with life. We start excluding those things that don't make me happy, and we just do things that do make me happy. And we stop sacrificing. We start sacrificing for other people and other things, and for our community. Our community's going to tell, oh, you got to sacrifice, Joe, and give 10% of your pay to the church. Sacrifice. That's what it's about, because God's going to be happy if you sacrifice that. No, that doesn't make no sense. Sacrificing doesn't not make no sense. If there's low moments in your life, you want to exclude those low moments. If there is such a thing as a God, he would want me to exclude those low moments from my life, because he's looking down and going, if he's some alien being, he's looking down and goes, that's stupid. Why are you suffering? Suffering is an indication that something's wrong. It's the human condition. The human condition. There's something wrong with your human condition. Fix it, fucking idiot. But the world wants you to be in the same misery as them. Blue pill people want you to be in the same misery as them, because that makes them happy. PUAs want you to be in the same misery as them. Searching for that Nawalt, that special thing. No, just lead your life every day the way you will lead it. Peek out that happiness. I don't care what happens. I don't care if there's a woman in your life. I don't care about anything. I care that you're happy and things are working for you. And things aren't affecting your life. There's no risk. Anytime there's risk, it should set out an alarm in your life. Anytime there's low moments of low happiness, it should set up an alarm, and you got to fix that. You got to cut that string. Figure out why it's happening. Make that go away. Make that person, that place, or that thing go away that's making you unhappy. And as a Mgtow, that's what we're walking away from. Oh, no, you keep all that unhappiness over here. That's what I say all the time. You can have 10 of those bad girls, because 10 of those bad girls are a whole bucket of unhappy. It's a wheelbarrow full of unhappy. And you can have every one of those. Every single one of the last one on this planet, you can fuck those if you want, like your little dog self. The PUAs are little dogs. All they can think about is humping on that miserable woman's leg. And that's all they want. That makes them freaking happy in their life, because they've never worked through real happiness in their life. They never work. They never go out in their garage and just sit there for a couple hours and do something that makes them happy. I don't know what makes you happy. Building radios, building CBs. I had a buddy that all he did was he's a CB nut, and he took them apart and he put them back together, and that's what made him happy. And I says, what use is that? Why are you doing this obscure passe thing like building CBs? And he looked over and he says, because I like it. Because I like it, and it's none of your fucking business. That's what he said to my other buddy. Don't worry about me. Stop worrying about me. That's what the PUAs are doing. That's what the social justice warriors are doing. I do this Mgtow thing because I like it. I'm building that CB because I like it. And Mgtow is a CB radio that, hey, don't worry about it because I like it. And that's what the PUAs are coming around. That's what I think Barbarossa, what did he use? I can't remember the term he used. He says, why does it matter to you? Why does it matter to you? Because I like it. And I like being a Mgtow. And I find happiness in it. And I like it. I like that in my life. I like that risk removal in my life. So why the fuck does it matter to them? And that's what we should be saying. Why the fuck does it matter to you? Go be a PUA. Go be an MRA. Go be a social justice warrior. Go be an atheist. Take all that whole wheelbarrow full of women and that whole wheelbarrow full of pain and take it with you. And don't leave none on my door. I think I got this thing figured out. First time in my life I was ever happy is the first day I was a Mgtow. The rest of the time was a whole bunch of suffering people told me that I should be doing. That somehow there was some validation in that. Somehow there was some solace in all that suffering. I don't think so. There was never no solace in it. It was just me lowering the bar of what I was going to accept in my life. It was me lowering the bar down to what made them happy. And that goes back to, why the fuck does it matter to them? Don't lower the bar. Have high standards. Have high standards. Regard yourself as a person and have high standards for yourself. Have high standards in what you accept out of people, about what restaurants you go to, about what you stick in your body, what you tolerate with people in your life. Have high standards. The highest standards you can have that make you happy, and forget the rest, because it's your life. You only got one of these to live. One life to live. There's only one. You get one. You don't get a multiple, a variety of lives to choose from. You got one. And that's it. And that's the only one you get. So it looks like no one's going to come in today, and I might shut this down a little earlier. I can go on. Well, unless you want me to do news or something, or talk sports, or just mumble on about things. Let me see who's in. Who's on? Where's them little green dots at? No one seems to be in today. That's okay. Red Pill Gaming. Let me see who I got on my list. Male feelings. Heartburn. He doesn't want to come in anymore. So Howard Dare was in, but he's having solved problems. Hence the what I was talking about, Downtrenden men to sickness. You know, people want to put you in that situation in life where you're sharing that pie of pain, and they like that. They like that because, well, they're not doing it. They're not sharing in that big pot of work and pain. Let me see what's in the news. We talked about the 3 little girls this morning, or the 2 little girls that made a false accusation that they were being raped, and then the whole community was on alert. Oh, God, Google is such a plethora of craziness some days. What would my buddy say? A cornucopia of craziness. Just go down this crazy. Oh, here's one that'll interest Shining. Top LA County Sheriff official resigns over email mocking Muslims and others. Oh, it's illegal now to mock others. Boy, no one's going to hire me then. The Cavaliers are moving on. Bernie Sanders has a new strategy on overcoming the uphill fight to nomination. He has a new strategy. It's like the PUA is going to get a new strategy on mating. And Bernie Sanders has a new strategy how he's going to just win. And I don't think that's going to happen because they know who's going to be president. They're going to pick him already. World news. Princess Charlotte looks adorable. Oh, they put a new princess. They got a new princess, and is that I didn't even know. Kate Middleton has a new girl. Kate Middleton's the princess, and Prince William have a new little girl. So everybody's got to see. They're gonna probably put it on a plate, you know, and the little princess, little girl, can be on a plate, and all the girls are gonna go out and buy these plates. And then if you bring that girl into your life, you're gonna have to go buy one of those what do they call them stands in your kitchen where she can put all those plates that you're not allowed to use with the little pictures of Princess Charlotte on there, and then she's going to tell you that someday that plate is going to be worth so much money. Because women do these silly little trends, don't they? They do silly little trends, and we've seen Garbage Patch Kids, which is a horrible little thought. Garbage Pail Kids, where they had dolls and they put them in garbage pails, and because that's the way women think, they throw out the children, and then they go and pick them back up. It's like, oh, look at this little abortion I threw out, and I'm gonna take. That's so cute. That's the way they think. And then Princess Charlotte has this little kid. She's going to go buy plates. Someday this is going to be worth something. My mother had 1,000 of these little plates around. She bought from the, what was that, that book that used to come into your house every day. It's a Finger Hut. And then she's buying, and they come with a little, they come with this little certificate saying that someday this plate with Princess Charlotte on there is going to be worth. I got a whole garage full of them. I put them up because it was hers. It was my mom's. I can go look at them someday and say, man, she spent a whole lot of money on worthless garbage. Little plates, little garbage pail kids, little troll kids, the next fad that's coming around, the Princess Diana plates, the roosters, all those things. She had them all. She just buy them. Old people buying sprees. That's what, because someday they were all going to be worth some huge amount of money, but really they were just wasting their money and buying trinkets from Japan and betting on it. And kids do this too. Kids create cards now. They have and it's the relationship between females and children. They all act the same. Children and females and children, they collect cards. They collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards. And I remember when my child was young, he had to have those Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and then the cards that you play the game with. And some of them were very, very expensive at the time when the fad was going. And they said, oh, these cards are going to be worth hundreds of dollars someday. Just keep them. And they're not worth shit now. And that's the way a child thinks. Some baseball cards, if you collect a legitimate baseball card, it's probably going to go up in price. The smart boys do that. They put their money in baseball cards, and then they rise in price, and they collect silver, and they rise in price. They collect gold. Women put their money into troll Cabbage Patch Kids and troll babies, and they think, oh, this is going to be everybody's. The value of the object is only what people want. I seen a guy walk into a shop, and he had it was one of those pawn shops, and he was trying to pawn off this thing that was this book that was signed by some Star Trek celebrity, and he said, oh, this is worth hundreds of dollars to me. And the pawn shop owner says, no, it's not worth nothing to me. I have no interest in it. And it's only worth something if somebody wants it. He says, go to the internet and sell it. You're not selling it here. Oh, there's a huge storm rolling through the southeast when there's floods and people are dying in Texas right now. Seems like every year they don't get this. They're like that the storm is going to come at the beginning of the spring, and then all these rivers that don't exist anymore from the dry weather, they're going to exist now, and then someone's going to go build a house on that. Oh, it's not going to happen this year, and then it comes around and it happens again this year, or that's not going to get that bad again this year. We can do that again, and then you have people dying because they built property and they didn't take those same precautions as they didn't learn from the last time they did that. And anybody in Puerto Rico? Hey, I seen what's this? Blah 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 blah. He's in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico faces default as governor's plans to address the island. Puerto Rico is now $422 million in debt. And Puerto Rico is very small, and they're facing default now. Yeah, that sounds like Cleveland. Cleveland went into default. Is one of the only cities in the country that ever have so much debt that they back in the 80s, I think it was, that they went into default. Now Puerto Rico, the whole state of Puerto Rico, is going to go into default. Now they just make them a state, and then the United States will own them and then relieve them of their debt. I think they are a sort of a state. I'm not sure what Puerto Rico is, but they're $422 million in debt, and they keep going down, and they can't understand why. And it just keeps going and going and going. Ooh, my cigar is going out. And it doesn't look like anybody's going to come in today. So I just might relieve myself of the duty of keeping this podcast going here pretty soon and wrap this thing up. We've been going about an hour and a half. I've been talking for about an hour and a half. That's kind of amazing to me. Apocalypse, the movie's coming out, huh? Shining, and everybody thinks it's going to suck. I thought it was. I seen the preview to it, and I'm going to steal it like you suggested. As soon as I seen they already have it set up, the place on the site I go to steal movies. Now they already have the spot set up for the first guy to record it and get a good recording. They're going to put it in there, and then I'm going to steal. It's a Korean site. Thank God for the Koreans stealing movies. Their laws are different there, so they're allowed to, and then I'm allowed to see them on we come to the end of the end. We've come to the end of the end. Puerto Rico is a territory, yeah, like Guam or American Samoas. Yeah, I watched that CPJ, Top Dollar. If was man in Benghazi's lying about Sarajevo email scandal, it wouldn't get it would get nominee for the loan ballot access. Joe, see if Top wants to come in. Oh yeah, I sent him a letter. I'll give him I'll see if he comes up in my G+. I've never talked to Top Dollar, and I don't know if Top Dollar does I don't know if Top Dollar does hangouts. You have to ask Top Dollar. That's his business, and if he wants to come in, he can come in. But it's his business, and if he wants to, he just, I'll send him an invitation. If not, he'll have to say he wants to. Otherwise, it's just me being rude and saying, come on in and talk. I don't know if he wants to. Don't have the time. Sorry. Hopefully next time. Yeah. So we're getting ready to shut this up because no one's really showed up today, and I'm done doing the news for the day. What's news? And Shining says that somebody really took off on. I haven't watched any videos today yet. I haven't had time to watch Mgtow videos yet today. Tito Sanchez took off on Stardust. I would like to see that and see what he actually had to say about Stardust. That doesn't bother. Stardust doesn't bother me much. He is what he is, and that's what he is. And I wish he'd come back a little more Mgtow and quit doing that red pill stuff. But it really doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. He can do what he wants. The local Mgtows that I'm worried about are the new Mgtows. And that's what I worry about here, and getting the new Mgtows through it so they can have some longevity in Mgtow and take this word out into the streets here. I see Nico made a new video. Did Nico make a new video today, or did Nico post one of his old videos again? That's interesting. Oh, look, my podcast is 4th. Oh, that's perfect. Chris Fool Revving Mgtow. He's the guy that does there's Chris Fool Revving Mgtow. He does the Mgtow videos. He looks okay. He does Mgtow videos from his steps in what seems to be the apartment center, so the back steps. And Hairless Ape is always, he was in earlier, but he's not in now. And Femme Hater 8's got just a ton of, he just Burp Freeman, my newest favorite. He burps while he drinks beer and burps while he does Mgtow videos, and he's got a new one focusing on Mgtow, and that's important. Focusing on Mgtow is important. Who else? Time Stealer has, I'm not really sure who Time Stealer is. Misogyny 3, Mgtow Mayhem, male supremacy. It's a male supremacy. I don't really care what women do. Male supremacy is at probably one of the bottom. But who am I? If I'm doing my Mgtow right, who am I? Who am I putting under me? What women? I don't really care. And I don't want them thinking that, and that's one of our biggest complaints. I see Mgtows that do male supremacy, and they it's more of an Ibmore thing. They want the women to bow down in front of them. I don't really care for that, because I don't want females to think that that there's something I should be subservient to. And that's my big complaint in life. Is we look over out onto this world here, and what some people want, the elite and the female gynocentric, wants men to be subservient to them, to pick up the boxes for them, to do all that work for them, to make their lives happy and joyous, to be subservient and sacrifice their life for them. I don't want that out of women, because I would not ask that out of myself. If you're going to ask something, never be willing to ask something from someone that you're not willing to give yourself. And if you want women to be sex bots and subservient to you, you better think about what is going to get asked out of you. Somebody's going to want that same thing out of you. Somebody's going to want you to be subservient. And that's what I want to get rid of in this world. I want to get rid of a bunch of totally subservient people. I want to boost them up where nobody's asking anybody to be subservient to them. The government doesn't want me to be subservient to them to pay taxes. They don't want, they got all these lighter than air jobs that they're doing, and they're happy with them. For their happiness to continue, a whole bunch of us have to continue being subservient to them. No, not no more. I don't want subservience about anybody. I want everybody to be free, everybody to be happy, everybody to go their own way. I want women to go their own way, and I want them to be responsible for opening up those legs and creating children, and take 100% accountability and responsibility. I want everybody to do that. I don't want nobody to be subservient to anybody else, and especially women, because as soon as you ask women to be subservient to you, you better expect that you're going to get the same thing asked from you, to be subservient to some women. And with that subservience, you're going to have a bunch of white knight thugs saying, okay, now we're going to force that subservience. We're going to provide force with that subservience, and we're going to make you be subservient. That's when it becomes slavery. So it all stems from that same idea. Somebody wants somebody else to be subservient. What they're saying is they want a slave. No, not in this society. Nobody gets a slave. One of the Ibmores made a new video. Black men don't protect black women. There's a Rami Amara. Black people protect black women educated faster, growing on. I think this is the guy that simps out. He's simping and saying, you got to protect your black women. And, no, nobody has to do anything for anybody. That's kind of funny. We get these, they just simp out, like, go get yourself one of those women and protect her, and that'll make you happy. You'll be the protector provider. That'll make you happy in life. That's never made any man happy in his life. All he's doing is finding solace in his pain. Oh, we got another flatter. Oh, Mgtow representative, one of my favorite Mgtows, not because he's funny. He's just freaking funny. I know he does it on purpose too. He's doing flat earthers. Now, flat earthers, it just cracks me up. We still have a portion of our society that believe in a flat earth. And they're not saying it's flat. What they're saying is bowl-shaped. The whole universe is bowl-shaped. And if you could make it to the end, that you would just fall off into this abyss, into the ether. Now, that's funny. That's funny that they think the world is bowl-shaped. Now, within he's got 1, 2. Mgtow representatives doing like 3 videos a day, and maybe you should slow down. You're gonna burn out on that shit. But there it is. I like to go listen to Nico Chasky's new video, concerning of a friend over my concerns of my friend over my Mgtow. And that's what I was talking about earlier. I have a friend that does. He does CB repairs in his garage. CB repairs are passe. CBs are passe unless a zombie apocalypse comes. You're never going to need a CB. There's Shining and a Red Pill in there now. Ah,
We've
have
joined
you
you,
guys
brother.
been?
In the
Okay.
twilight, in the last hour of the night, we've joined you.
Okay, I heard you coming. I didn't have the page open. I was just browsing through the
Oh,
new
I was
Mgtow
having
videos.
such a good time talking to Denton and Revertech Ace about. Well, it's the well, I love having the conversations about a possible zombie apocalypse. What men would do.
Oh
That's
God.
funny. That's funny. Yeah.
Well, how
You know
about
you're
you,
gonna need two things.
MJ? How would you cope with a zombie apocalypse? Would you become a robber like a mobile robber like Mad Max, or would you be like fortress yourself up and make defenses like the guys that mine for the oil? I mean, what side would you take?
That is a very good question. I don't know what I would do in a situation like that. I would just treat it as a survival of the fittest kind of situation if you were caught in such a scenario. I mean, a scenario for that to exist would actually be, it would not only be catastrophic, but it would be a very scary situation.
Well, think about this: a war zone like what's going on now in Syria or Iraq, where the government's basically removed, and it's the law of basically the law of the biggest gang, basically. Um, people are faced with that. It is a very similar to an apocalyptic scenario. Is a war zone, so I don't know. It's very possible if it could come to the U.S. perhaps if the circumstances are right. If Hillary gets in and the dollar finally collapses and America becomes like a martial law type of a situation, it's not too far off.
That would be scary for a scenario to happen. Even that would be scary because, you know, you would have all sorts of people that would just, how should I put word? I'm trying to figure out the right words. They would just lose it.
Mm.
They would just
Yeah,
turn
people
to
don't know how
total
to react
anarchism.
when the water goes off, the electric goes off. People don't know how to distill their own water anymore.
All right.
Most of them are just.
Well, let me put this out there. When that hurricane, was it Hurricane Gilbert or is it Hurricane Katrina, when basically it devastated the city basically, and people just turned into gangsters. It was a back situation. People were getting robbed. They were calling them looters. You know, basically there was no law, and I think Bush was blamed for being shit. Bush is shit anyway, but. I mean, that's a sign, I think, a sign of what people would do in such a situation.
Yeah. Yeah, the first thing you want to do or have in those kind of situations is a 12-volt pump to pump your water. You're going to have to dig a hole, get water out of it, then you're going to have to filter the water. Or, you know, in that situation there, and what cracks me up about that situation, they're handing out bottled water, and none of those people can figure out how to filter their own water. And they're basically going to die because they have no sense of how to preserve themselves in this society without electric and without fresh drinking water from a bottle. And that's the same thing in New York too. When we see the.
Well, I was just gonna say, not only that, what would women do? Because they're so used to the modern lifestyle, and if it was to collapse, what do you think they would do again? I already know the answer to this.
They'd attach themselves. They would attach themselves to James Denton. They would attach themselves to James Denton, or attach themselves to Veritech Ace, and ergo they would be Ace, and Denton would be the simps. No, they would. No, obviously women would depend on the men. It would go back to old tribalism times, and and skill sets such as purifying water, metallurgy, skills like that. definitely, I think if you have a good mechanic, that would be excellent. I think in those times, I don't know. It would be interesting to think. I mean, it's not until I talk to the guys that things come out like what use would software programming be at that point. Me and Ace, we work in web management and design and stuff. I mean, I don't think that would be much use anymore anyway, unless you could. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think there'd be a use for programmers?
Yeah,
It's
you might
hard to
want to
say,
have
man.
a small generator around too. Make some plans, have a small generator. I have a huge generator. Yeah, have some filters, some pumps, some hoses. Have a couple, one of those, those purifier, or what I ordered was a big bucket of charcoal. A
Oh,
5-gallon bucket of charcoal I put in my garage, so in case I need to purify water, I have it.
hey, it comes in handy, especially if this society was to collapse.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
can you imagine? You're
Go on.
you're the only guy on the street with a hot shower. Your value does what?
It goes up.
It goes
Well,
up. You could sell a hot shower for $2 like in the Western time.
Yeah.
You got 2 minutes.
things like lighting, things like cooking, things would be much more difficult. And well, Denton's saying he wouldn't have any women as slaves. Whatever he says, he'd feed them to his dogs.
Well, if
Yeah,
you
why
think
would you
about it,
bring a woman around?
Yeah, well, because you still have simp men, you still have thirsty men, like we get in our PUA side of the manosphere,
Yeah,
and they need feeding, and they say, you know what, I'm not joining your club unless we have women. And Denton says to that, well, simp traits within the weaker members they'd have to be pushed out because they'd ruin the entire group. Interesting, though, interesting.
I think these guys just need to knock their shit off. I mean, this is just stupid. And they're claiming the label Mgtow.
I know,
No.
that's the funny part, isn't it? It's like, they still know we're the real Mgtow.
I think they're no better than Paul Elam. I think they're just trying to hijack the name, just like Paul Elam tried to do. What was it, a year ago?
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I remember, Joe.
Yeah, he
You
just wanted
you took exception to that. I remember back then. You was in fact, I think
Yeah,
Barbara. I think everybody did. I'm trying to think.
he wrote a book and he said he's the king of the Mgtows and he's married.
No, I don't think so. He's an MRA. He's good as an MRA, but he's not a Mgtow. No.
Mm.
No, he's not a Mgtow, and he should just drop that label and stay. He's a good MRA. He does a good job at being an MRA.
I mean, if you think about it, I think he's the cause for all this, because I think it was funny that, I don't mean to mention names here, but Immortal was naming off these different MRA females when he was making a statement towards Messenger Rising. So I find that kind of suspicious.
What do you mean? Which females?
He mentioned Karen Strong. He mentioned Diana Davison. The only thing, Diana Davison was an ex-MRA, but then she switched sides and decided to speak for Mgtow instead of the MRAs. He mentioned a couple others too. Who else did he mention?
Lacey Green.
No, no. Oh God, she's terrible.
Is Lacey Green a Mgtow?
No.
She's Mgtow now. We have to. No, do you know what it is? We've been criticised for not allowing women in. We basically criticised for not allowing women. Who's that other woman they keep talking? Hannah something. They've got all these names now.
Hannah
They've got all these
Wallen,
women.
yeah.
Helen Wallen, and is she a woman though? Is she actually a woman? I think that's a man, isn't? Excuse me if I'm ignorant about it. But anyway, they've got all these names, and they're accusing the monks for being exclusive of women. But That's a good thing, isn't it? The fact that we don't include women in there, but we've been accused. Like Shinu Wasami took the piss out of us, calling us old men who actually he's older than half of us actually.
Yeah, he's complaining because we don't want a blowjob from another man.
Yeah, that's quite disturbing.
That's disturbing.
That's quite disturbing.
God.
Yeah, but no, the thing is, if you want to go listen to those ladies, and now and again I'll pop into Diana Davidson's channel. I see what she's talking about. Like this morning, I stole one of her news scoops, and I'll use it. But the thing is, when we come onto the podcast, when we do our own videos, we're addressing men in particular. So there's no need to have the woman's voice in there, really.
No, and just to address this, I don't have a problem with MRAs, but in this generation, their ways are just not working. You cannot change the system. You can't.
And do you know what? Like for example, Top Dolly brought up Goodfella. And what did Goodfella do? He brings in Alexandra when all the Mgtow were taking we're all taking the piss out of her. Say, look at that. She's making fun of. Because remember, her first video was she was calling out Mgtow and saying, I'm a feminist and men need to be feminists. And the next thing you know, she says, oh, you know what? I'm men's rights now. I'm for men's rights, and she totally changed. And then what did Goodfella do? He goes and brings her in, puts her in there, puts her right in the middle of centre of attention. And then what did he do again recently? He put that silly woman, what's her name, blonde in the belly of the beast. What you see, whenever these guys bring in these women, things go wrong. And have you noticed, that's when cracks start to show in Mgtow. Guys, they start falling out. Guys, they start discussing these issues where, for example, fucking saving the European women. Saving our women. Come on, guys. How much more away from Mgtow can you get? We're now going to save these women from getting raped. Come on, guys. Oh, man. It's disaster. And they're shaming Mgtow because we're not concerned about the welfare of our European women. Oh, my God. Come on, man.
Okay.
How bad does it to get?
Okay, what was it? Okay, a woman like Alexandra Blue, for example, guys should not be supporting that. She fucked up in the past. I just took a look at her page today. She cleared out all her past videos. She no longer has them. But you shouldn't trust somebody like that. You can't trust a woman like that. And the other one, the blonde one you mentioned, Belly of the Beast is her name?
Yeah, blonde in the belly of the beast.
I'm just asking because I know about her too. I really did not pay much attention to her. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Whenever they bring the women in, things go wrong. Things do go wrong. And just look at the shitstorm that guys like well, you guys know who I'm talking about. They start simping for these women. They're saying, look, why aren't you listening to them? Why aren't you including that? And then when men say, oh no, they're irrelevant. They start getting all sensitive about it. They're saying, you're so disrespectful. These are our women. All of a sudden, they turn into white knight. Some guy put it brilliantly. He said the MRA became feminists when Muslims came to Europe. He put it perfect.
Well, you know why you know why they're doing it, right? These females are now starting to get scared. They're like, oh shit, these guys are not playing around anymore. They're taking this shit very seriously. They're getting serious. They're fed up.
Well, some guy said...
what do they think is going to happen when Mgtows walk away? There's going to be no one to protect them.
Nope.
Well,
no.
It's a good lesson to them.
Yeah, let's see how it fares. I mean, as time goes by, we're seeing more and more women sympathise with Mgtow. But guys, come on, women are masters at being a chameleon. They know exactly what to say, exactly how to act to make you, to make you put your guard down, basically. And that's what's happening here. Alexandra Blue, did you see how she disarmed, all the fake Mgtow, all the fake guys in the manosphere. You know, and I've always said, you know, unless the guy's like a proper, you know, a proper practicing or sincere Mgtow, a guy that genuinely wants to help men and generally knows the shit that's going down. You know, don't include them in your Mgtow shit. You know, it's like we don't have enough Mgtow material or channels. It's like you have to go listen to like Armor Skeptic and Computing Guy and all the other guy, like what's it, Goodfella.
Here's the mistake I
we
see
look
them
at the,
making. I'm sorry, I don't mean to step on you, but
That's
the
okay.
mistake I think they're making is they're trying to be either the next PewDiePie or Sandman. They're trying to, you know, become mainstream. They're trying to be popular, and you know, we all know where that leads to.
Yeah. I was looking at the with Paul Elam, and they never got the message on that one. We look at WBB. Remember when WBB was in?
Who's WBB?
Willie Bumblebee.
Oh, I don't.
WBB. Yeah, she was
Ah.
in. She was doing their book work and everything for him, and Paul was happy getting that free service from the woman, and then all the money disappears. It gets it disappears out of AVFM, and then Wooly Bumblebee goes off on a tirade and starts calling Mgtow and MRAs all kinds of names. And then what does Paul Elam do after that? He doubles down on stupid, and he brings in 3 more women.
Wait a minute, I didn't know she did that, and I made a video about her too. Damn it.
Yeah, I mean, I welcome women that sympathise with Mgtow, and you know, like you said, Joe, there's those women that go to the point of calling themselves Mgtow. You know, women go for it. It's just that I don't think it's quite right. It's quite time for women to be contributing to the Mgtow.
No.
I mean, men
No.
have to see that. Surely, men can see that. I think Messenger says it perfectly when he says, you know, we don't need women's contribution to Mgtow, and because it's no longer about, it's no longer men going their own way. It's men and women talking about going their own way.
Well, in other words, they're not going to listen to women that say, no, don't forget about us women now. No, they're not doing that anymore. They've tried that route, and it's not working out for them. So
Yeah,
now they're choosing their own path. They're going with their own way of dealing with the situation.
Yeah, that's fine. Walk away. Walk as far away from my stuff and my area as they can, because that's what I'm telling them to do anyways. Stay away from me, and that's okay. But they're not going to change, and they're going to have to learn the same way. They're going to have to learn the same way a Mgtow learned, and it's going to have to come through a little bit of pain.
Exactly.
I think there is that element to where some channels are seeing the success of, for example, Sandman and who's that other guy now who just got Sargon. Wow, can you believe I forgot Sargon? I hate that guy. and they're seeing the success of Sargon and Thunderfoot, and they sort of want in on that market, so they start adopting their narrative, adopting the subjects that they talk about. So you get guys like what's his name, Stardust. You can tell I'm half asleep. You get guys like Stardust. He shuts down all his old stuff, which is what built his popularity in the first place amongst Mgtow. So the Stardust channel is now shut down. All his videos are deleted. His past is deleted. And you know he's done that a few times before. You know that he's done that a few times before. He's reinvented himself, and he's reinvented himself again to be a more social, political type of a bullshit. And yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's exactly the Sandman. He's now talking shit, you know, poorly researched, and he's now banking on sensationalism and tried and tested subjects, which people like Sargon. Yeah, I've said this before. I know, you know, people like Sargon, people like Thunderfoot, people like, these channels that just boomed, and now you're getting these type of channels that want to build a YouTube career, like Goodfella. I think I don't think Goodfella cares about whether he helps people or not. He just wants to build that channel, whatever that takes, whoever he brings on that he's happy with, and that will get him subs.
Yeah, if Kim Kardashian's ass sells some subscribers, he'll put it up on there.
He'll put it up there.
You know.
Oh man. I don't like her either.
Oh yeah, but that's what guys go for around here. You can tell they instantly drop the Mgtow label as soon as they see a pretty face. You know, it's one blowjob away. It's those guys. Remember my video a few weeks ago there with Laugh Out Loud Feminism? Google picked Laugh Out Loud's. I put all the Mgtow pictures up of all the Mgtows, and I put one picture of feminism, Laugh Out Loud Feminism in there. Guess what picture Google picked to put on the thumbnail?
What?
John the Other.
Laugh Out Loud Feminism. Yeah.
You almost said John the Other.
Yeah, and that was a popular video. There was like 400 more hits than it should have got. 600 more hits. It's up to like 1,000 some now, and it was a shit for shit video. I was just making fun of somebody, and just her face alone on that video got it, and all these guys come running around. You know, it's like that male mother need enacting in real life. And you put a picture of Kim Kardashian's ass up on your video, and yeah, they're gonna come running around. Them same guys are gonna come around and check that ass out.
Yeah, there's a lot of sensationalism, a lot of trending going about in YouTube, but I sort of don't mind that Mgtow's a sort of like Vim type of what's the word now? On the Vim type of a community. I mean, I don't mind that it's not super popular at the moment, but I think the more popular it gets, the more we're going to attract these sensationalists. You know, these like fashion aficionados, these like trendsetters. I think we will attract more of that. And that's when.
How far do we let it go? Because if we let it go, and we've seen this before, the new Mgtow trend will be how to take your girlfriend out on a perfect date.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that happening. In fact, some guys are probably doing that right now. I mean, you know, God bless him, Nico. he did his dating series. He did his dating series. He did a couple of videos like that.
They're going to be saying, you know, I'm Mgtow because I'm going to pick up this check because I choose to pick up this check because I'm a man.
See, and I already talked about this in a video. I keep telling guys, don't do this. Don't follow what the pickup artists follow, because you're not being a genuine man. You're not being original. You're being. We talked about this yesterday. I mean, you're pretty much just a drone.
Yeah.
And you're detracting from the entire point of why we came in at first. We came here, and you know, we have gone leaps and bounds. You know, back from the days when you know me and you first met, MJ. You know, the things we used to talk about. I mean, we've gone, you know, we've gone miles with the ideas and with the lifestyle of how men can live after women. I mean, we've gone a long way, and it would have been a lot different if we included the voices of women. I'm not saying women shouldn't have a voice, but just not here. I mean, that's all we're saying.
Oh, I know. We had talked about this many times. I mean, we even talked about it when I had my own podcasts on my old channel. And it's still continuing.
Oh, some of these comments are just... Timothy Blade says he got his bucket of Popeye's chicken, and
Popeye's chicken. Yeah, I asked Timothy if he'd make a video about that, but he backed down, of course.
Yeah.
Backed down making a video. I was going to challenge him to eat 10 pieces of chicken in 6 minutes.
The 10-piece of chicken challenge. The funny comment is Johnny Midnight says, "Blades, I would stick my in a box of chicken." I don't have it here. He really he likes that chicken a lot.
He's going a bit far.
Oh God!
Man. Wait till I get into those mashed potatoes.
Timothy, you need to watch a channel called Matt. What's his name? Matt. That guy that eats the competitive eater.
Oh yeah, there was the Chinese guy that did the hot dogs there for a while, and then
What's his name? Matt.
God, the new champion.
I forget his name. I need to go look it up.
Oh my God, I couldn't imagine eating 30 hot dogs. Can you eat 30 hot dogs?
No.
No, I can't even eat like four. Four would be like, I'd be like, oh.
Matt Stoney, that's it. Matt Stoney. He ate something like 6 Big Macs in like 6 minutes or something. 6 Big Macs in 6 minutes.
6 Big Macs in 6 minutes. That's a feat.
And then if you see how he eats it, he sort of squashes it in his fist, and then he like bites it in 3 and swallows it without chewing. That's how he eats it in 6 minutes. So there you go, Tim. That's your challenge.
6 pieces of chicken in 6 minutes and 1 minute. That would be interesting. General, let's change STDs from. Can you get an STD from a box of Popeye's chicken? These guys.
Well, the salmonella count.
The salmonella count in chicken. Yeah, that's only Taco Bell. Yeah,
I had to say it.
Yeah, you can get STD from Taco Bell, they say.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So how's life been, MJ? How's life been since you took your Mgtow channel down? A lot of guys missed you down here. I said they would.
Oh, I know. I'm doing okay.
Yeah. Are you still in the same state?
Yep. Still in Michigan.
Are you still in touch with Dimitri? Dimitri, I think he's doing a truther channels now. He's doing his truther stuff.
Yeah.
He's still invites all the
No,
Mgtow.
actually, I haven't heard from him in a while. I lost touch with a few people since I shut my channel down. I'm trying to get him back, but I don't know what's going on. The only person I'm contacting is you and Arden ever since I left. I still talk to him.
That's a pity.
Yeah, Dimitri does. As Seth was saying, he talks to Dimitri quite often now, but he just went off on. I was watching that thing, and he went off on. He took his channel down from the Truther channel now too, and he's going another route.
Really?
Yeah, Doug was in that, and then Doug came back to Mgtow for a couple weeks, and then Doug left.
Doug or Dub?
Dub. Yeah, Dub.
Dub here making another video.
Yeah, Dub here. Yeah, I like that.
Dub making a video. Who's the other guy? He always says, "What's good, man?" Hey,
oh yeah, we were talking about him today. Truth Over
boys?
Everything's back, huh? What channel was that? What was that called?
Called Wayne Bird. But I'm sure that's Red Pill Brotherhood. They sound exactly the same.
Red Pill Brotherhood.
And they use the same intro as well. Say, what's good, man? What's good, boys?
Good, man? Yeah, that sounds just like Truth Over Everything.
What's good? Oh, Betsy Swallocks is in the room.
Yeah, I've seen Buddy before. Huh?
Kick him out, guys. That's a woman.
Yeah, is that a woman? I just figured out what that monkey that he had.
He's pinched that. He's such a liar. He says he told us that his cousin or his uncle took that picture while he was in a zoo. He didn't. I saw that on the Google. I googled that picture and it came up. Somebody else took it. He's such a liar.
Yeah, you know what, that picture that somebody enlightened me the other day to that picture. That's an autistic monkey. That's a monkey with Down syndrome.
All right.
When I was looking at the pictures of animals with Down syndrome the other day, that's one of the pictures that came up. That's a monkey with Down syndrome.
Mm. Yeah, I saw that. I saw the proper picture that was posted a long time ago. I googled it, found somebody had taken a picture, but yeah, Betty's been one of the he's one of the veterans, and he hasn't made any videos, but he's been around for years and years.
Betty and John Galt, and yeah, I like those conversations.
And Phil McCracken with his with his avatar of that film, Clockwork Orange, which I still to this day do not. Can anyone explain to me the film Clockwork Orange? What's going on in that film? Why are those guys dressed like that, walking around? And making mischief. What are
Yeah,
they doing?
they're doing drugs. They're doing acid. That's what that movie's about, doing acid, isn't it? It's like,
Okay, they're doing acid. So what? Obviously it's set in the future.
yeah.
These guys in the future, and they've got all these weird things, and then at the end he gets like mind control or something.
Yeah, because you know everything's funner on acid.
I don't get that film at all. Apparently it was was it Stanley Kubrick that made that film?
Yeah, that was way, way back in God, the 70s, wasn't it?
I don't get it. I tried to. I've actually watched it twice. I watched the edited version and the director's cut.
Okay.
I don't understand what's going on. I mean, what's the message? Can we get Stanley Kubrick in this podcast and then we can ask him?
Yeah. Do you want to look up a
Google.
review Clockwork Orange explanation?
Yeah. Well, have I asked you yet, Joe? What's your top 3 films? Don't say Easy Rider. We've already had that.
It'd be hard to remember the names right now of them. One of my favorite films is probably Westworld. I like Westworld. And
about the robots.
yeah, the robots. And I like. Oh God, it was that I can't remember the name of it. Blade Runner.
Yeah, Blade Runner. Westworld, Blade Runner.
Westward World and Blade Runner. And one of my favorite films is probably not a very popular film. It was Halle Berry and
Monsters Ball.
no, it was who's the guy from Forrest Gump? And it's not
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Tom Hanks and Halle Berry made an altruistic future movie.
Oh, Cloud Atlas.
Cloud Atlas, yeah, I like Cloud Atlas because there's some deep undertone meanings to everything they're doing in there, and the writing was so well.
Oh, Veritech Ace has just confirmed that Clockwork Orange was I think he meant contrast. I think you meant contrast, didn't you? Or was it contract? Well, I'll read exactly what he says. He says the point of the movie was drawing a contract between the violence of people from the street and the violence that the state does.
Yeah, I could see that. I was looking at Spark Notes.
Yeah, my favourite bit of Westworld was when right at the end, the injured the man, the human, goes into the saloon and there's an injured woman on the floor and he tries to give her some water and he short circuits her because she's actually a robot. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, Westworld. That was one of the first movies I ever seen in life, actually. Westworld. And unfortunately, I seen everything you ever wanted to know about sex right around that time. I think they were both showing at the cinema, and they let me in. I was like 12 years old, and that was a Woody Allen film. Was just horrible. Sleeper, yeah. It's like it was everything you ever wanted to know about sex.
Yeah. Oh no, that's not the same. But yeah, have you seen Woody Allen Sleeper?
No, I didn't. I don't think I've ever watched a Woody Allen film after that. I was so traumatized.
He's a bit weird, Woody Allen, but I enjoyed his film Sleeper when a man gets put to sleep and he wakes up like 100 years when everything's futuristic. It's a fun film to watch. It's not serious.
Yeah, that's about the same thing as everything ever. There's futuristic things happening on, and they have a Volkswagen, and in his garage, and that's from it's just weird. It's just weirdness, and Woody Allen is the king of simps too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's gotten into lots of trouble because of where his penis has been taking him. But they're all talking about Soylent Green now. Have you seen Soylent Green?
Yeah, Soylent Green. That's a very good movie about futuristic zombie apocalypse, sort of apocalypse, and what happens with overpopulation. And where we're going.
It's out on HD now, guys. So if you guys want to watch it revamped, I think they've got a HD version out. So check out the HD version.
That idea freaks me out.
What?
Soylent Green idea, because sometimes I'll be just eating like a piece of pork or something, and I'll just be wondering, what if they're feeding me human meat and I don't know?
Yeah. Well, some of the things they do with the discarded fetuses and
Oh,
all the little like
oh
stuff
God,
they
yeah.
do with the liposuction, it's going to end up in your stomach one way or another. Don't worry about that,
Oh
guys.
God, they were so yeah. That's the Marcus video from me and RPG. We're talking about that yesterday, or was it? Yeah, it was yesterday about the what women put on their faces, and it's like,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
oh God, yeah, dead fetuses, and they're selling, they, I don't even know if they're grinding up human and using it as fertilizer and shit. It could possibly be. Uh, there was this thing about this story in England there in one of the major hospitals that all those, what they were using for additional heat?
What?
Too
Additional
safe.
heat. Yeah, they're in their boilers. Uh, to boil the water they give heat in the hospital. They were supplementing the cost of the heat with all the body parts. They were burning them and all the abortions. And it only got published when they realized that they were taking all those abortions and stuff they were given and they were throwing them into the furnace and burning them for
Oh my God.
and they're using it because the human body puts off so many BTUs of heat if you burn it. And that's what they're instructing the garbage men to throw it in, and all these just bizarre things that people do like that. And it's like, oh God, women do that things all the time. And I bet it was some female administrator that thought it was a good idea to do that.
I just think it's funny they say that they're not taking a life by doing that because it's, that claim they make all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
No.
they're safeguarding they're safeguarding themselves, and that tells a lot about the person itself. When you can convince yourself that that's not taking a human life, I don't want that kind of person around me
No.
because they generally devalue human life to that point. Do they devalue my life to a certain point? I think they do. I think these are the same people, the same blue people that devalue men's lives and think that's okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Doesn't
Well,
matter how small it is, you're still taking a life
Right.
by aborting that child.
yeah, defenseless child. Oh, are you talking about? Oh, did you see that video, MJ? Marcus's last video. I presume that's what the two of you are talking about.
Yeah. What is the three incidences he gives in that? One's abortion, one's what they do with the abortion products, and then he just makes a totally relevant case out of it. Some of those things that never get said, you're not allowed to say because you'd be labeled anti-abortion, and that's like. And the idea is, why do we let women do that? Because they wanted it, so we gave it to them.
No, I haven't heard of it. I don't understand that concept they follow. It's like I said before, it seems like a lot of them have lost their morality. It's like
Yeah.
they don't even have a soul anymore.
Yeah, women wanted abortion and that stuff, and so we made laws. And his point was, what was his point on that? It was he gave a great analogy. We just did it because we just did it because it was for women. And
Would it be socially acceptable to eat a man, though? I was looking at the chat. There's some crazy bastards.
meat is meat, just extra. It needs extra spices.
Yeah, there's that crazy cunt hairless ape saying, "Well, bacteria's life. Why not human fetus?" I think there's a bit of a difference there. I mean, one of them could possibly be your child. Other one is not going to be your child.
Yeah. But we consider ourselves when we talk about Mgtow, we talk about the right to financially abort, but we also talk about the if you do decide to go down that road with a woman, then your baby there, she's carrying your baby, and do you have any right? If she wants to have it aborted, they go, okay, well, I'm just going to kill your child, and you go, wait a second, just have the baby and I'll keep it. Do you have that option?
That's the entire dilemma. That's the thing about getting involved. I mean, young men just think it's about having sex, but it's not. If she's pregnant, that's your baby in her stomach, and no matter how you distance yourself, I mean, you do need quite a cold, hard heart to say, you know, I don't give a fuck. But yeah, I mean, that's your. I mean, if you think about it, if that baby came to term, you could have led quite a long life with that child being involved in your life.
Right,
I
yeah.
mean, that's why
Now I
you
can see
just can't be sticking your cock in any old woman.
yeah. Now I can see the argument for ectogenesis, and if we can take if we can prolong the period of time where a female carries it to 22 weeks, is it? And then it becomes, and then you put it in an ectogenesis tank and raise it for the rest of the way, then women can have their right to abort, but you don't kill the baby. You take the baby and you put it in an ectogenesis tank, and then you ask the father, do you want this baby? And if the father doesn't want the baby, he has a right to abort then too. And then you can take it and say, society, do you want this baby? And a society should say, yes, we'll take that baby. And then that becomes, if we can get ectogenesis to the point where we can keep women safe to a point where they're not going to, you just take the baby out and say, no, you don't have to get the fat hips, and you don't have to go through all the birthing process, and you don't have to do all that shit that you're so vain about. Because you know, a lot of women will just abort babies because they're vain, because they don't want to get fat.
Johnny Midnight brings up a disturbing fact, and that's some people. I can't pronounce that name, but there's a few individuals or groups that are proposing abortion up to the ages of 3. I've actually heard this before. So even after the baby's born, he or she can start speaking. They're still saying that child is viable for abortion. I have heard that actually.
Yeah, my mother wanted me to abort me after 54 trimesters.
Oh, Joey Aragon makes another good point. Yeah, once a fetus is formed, that fetus is no longer that woman's body. That fetus surely the body of that fetus surely belongs to that fetus. Obviously, the parents are responsible for the welfare of that baby or fetus, but it's still, if you're saying, well, let's just put in a knife and swirl it around, chop up the fetus and then pull it out. I don't know. I think you need a very cold heart to justify that. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's not just cold, it's vile.
yeah, it's vile. What about that doctor in Texas a few years ago? That was he was taking the babies out, and they showed them still moving and shit. The little, they're putting them on the table and stomping them with a bedpan or something.
Oh, it's unimaginable. Yeah, and then obviously if you just Google the images of aborted fetuses and you see the little faces, the little hands, the little feet, that's a little human being there, and I don't know why is it men have this compassion but women don't? How is it? When you're young, you're told that women are the caring, are the motherly type, but when you get older and you meet fathers, you become a father, you realise it's actually the men that actually care for mankind. It's the men that have the compassion. I mean, how were we lied to so dramatically?
Yeah, how do we get lied to like that? You know what an interesting fact is, and I said this to Nico, and he vehemently denied it. After a woman has birth, the baby comes out, and they take that baby from the woman for a period of 17 minutes. You know why they do that?
No idea.
10 minutes it is. I got my stats wrong. 10 minutes. They do that because 17% of women will kill the baby within 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
It's real. It's like they will. If you leave a baby with a mother that's in that state, 17% of women would kill the baby in that state, and not think about it, and go on with their lives. You see it all the time in the old West. The woman would have a baby, she'd go and just throw it out the door.
That's crazy. That's even sick.
So it's kind of nothing new that women act like this, but we're just not allowed to say it. We're just not allowed to say it. You know, in the Western time, they used to hand the baby to the father immediately, and there was reasons why they did that, to keep the mother from killing the freaking thing. It's like that's how abhorrent women are. They're just naturally like that, but we're not allowed to say it in society. You know, there's just so many things that they do is just fucked up, and we're not allowed to say it. And the biggest thing I bring up is 72% of women that are breastfeeding have orgasms.
Oh, we talked about that one.
Yeah, 72% of women feeding their killed children have orgasms. Their children give them orgasms. That's pedophilia, but we're not allowed to say that about them. No, we need to somehow. You know, we've gone so far off the rail here that we just these abhorrent behaviors. You know, they kill their children. They wear their dead children's fetuses on their face. They have they have they have orgasms when they feed them. The mothers discard their children at 18 years old. That's my 54 trimester. My mother aborted me. You see these kids all the time. 50, they turn 18 years old. The mom throws their suitcases out of the bag and go on and have a good life. That's fucking women. And we wonder why. We call okay, somebody like a messenger says, oh, they're evil. Yeah, they are fucking evil. And everybody goes nuts. The same men that protect them from this kind of criticism are there going, no, you're not allowed to say they're evil.
I don't get it. I don't get why they do that. They just overlook everything, including the raw facts. They're right. It's literally right in front of their face, and they just completely ignore it.
They just ignore it. One of the first comments was one of the guys on here said, I talk to my friends about Mgtow, and I make really rational points, and they look at me like it just goes one ear and out the other. Like they look at me like they don't understand, and they don't understand. That's the same thing with the women. If you try, that's the same thing with these simps and these guys that protect them. They truly, truly don't understand, and that's the fucking crime.
And this is going back to what I said yesterday when I was talking with you. Guys need to stop doing that because, they claimed independency a long time ago. So why are these white knights still fucking defending them? They really need to stop that.
Yeah, stop them. And the only way that women are going to, they're going to evolve out of this abhorrent behavior that they have is if it's forced and if it's painful. We have to stop treating them like children. That a woman does something the same as a child does. She rides a bike. We all clap our hands and go, oh, look at that strong, independent. Well, any fucking child rides a bike. She picks up a box. A child can pick up a box. She takes out the garbage, and we're like, oh, look at that strong, independent girl taking out the garbage. That's the same thing a child would do, and we applaud it like they're children, and they wonder why we say they're children. And they truly don't understand simple things about life. A child would kill a cat, and not understand that that's abhorrent behavior. Women kill their babies and don't understand that that's abhorrent behavior.
I think what these guys need to start doing is they need to stop supporting this bad behavior. They shouldn't. If anything, they need to start correcting them. If they're still acting in bad behavior, just discard them. Don't even bother with them, because that's going to be a bad woman right there.
Yeah, we had that one guy on here once, and he was talking about codependency and enabling women, and it was hard for me to understand at first, and then I got it one day. I was just sitting there on the couch or something, and I jumped up and oh shit, I get it. We're codependent. We're enabling them, and we have to stop that shit.
Exactly, because if this keeps up, they're just gonna keep doing this. They're gonna think it's okay. They're
gonna push it to the next level. It's give them a hand and they'll take an arm.
Exactly. I mean, they've already gotten superior power over us. I mean, what more do they want? It's like.
Next thing they'll know, there'll be a baby boy is born, and it's a baby boy. Let's throw him out. Put him in the garbage. God. Because I didn't want a baby boy. And then some simple be go, I can't fuck a baby boy.
He probably would say something like that too.
Yeah. Good job, girls. I can't fuck a baby boy. Why would it be matter to me? And he's just competition.
Oh
It's
yeah, white knights, they like to do that a lot,
yeah,
especially
but
these PUAs.
isn't that like you know, when we sort men and we do this tournament thing, it's infanticide. Lions kill the young of the it'll kill the male young so it doesn't have no competition in the future. And we're just acting like fucking animals like that. And now we have these traditional males and these white knights and these simps with this bad behavior and this malformed thought process they have, and they would kill children so they would have all the pussy.
Jeez, that's crazy.
And that's what abortion's about, isn't it? It's like, okay, we're just trimming the herd, they think, and that goes back to the, the trimming the herd thing. We hear that's so acceptable in our society, and when a male says that, I just look at him like, man, I think you should be trimmed. The only herd we should be trimming is the people that say they're trimming the herd, because that's what they think about human life, and it's gone way too far. And we can spot these behaviors in white knights and simps and manginas. So we keep them on one spectrum of our society. We push them out of men work because they can't do men work. They're just girls. They're just malformed men.
Exactly. You know, it's like they're not even women anymore. They don't behave like women. They act like men. They dress like men. They curse like a sailor.
Yeah.
You know, they lost their femininity completely. It's gone.
Yeah. These women have lost their femininity. Men have lost their masculinity. We live in a very confused society. And how else, God, if there is a biblical passage or a biblical thing that I agree with is Sodom and Gomorrah, where everything was so fucked up that the supreme being had to say, oh, fuck, I'm just going to destroy it.
Exactly. Another problem I see is these guys also, and they wonder, see, I don't get these single mothers. They wonder why so many good men are not wanting them now. Well, it's because, you already had a child with somebody, and they don't want pre-made children. They're saying their standard's higher.
Yeah, ready-made children, or you want a ready-made family. That's like it's the microwave family. You get a ready-made family in a box, you just put it in, and there it is. It's some other dudes. And you're supposed to accept that. And they say, I get these guys all the time are coming around here. That's like, oh, just get yourself one of those girls with the baby already. She'll cook for you, and that's supposed to be good enough.
No, it's not. No.
Some used up old vagina that's just said 500 cocks in it, and it's like they got a whole slew of children running around, and you're supposed to just go get some of that because that's supposed to be good for you.
I've had plenty of them before. They're not good. No.
No, and they're just self-interested. All they think about is themselves. That's why they never thought about those kids. Those kids are just paychecks for them. They just look at those kids as paychecks, and that's where the hypergamy shows.
Exactly. They're looking for a provider, someone who will provide for them,
Right.
especially if the previous father is not there, because they're not. Especially if it's a situation where she cannot take care of the child herself. Yet
Yeah.
they need to take more responsibility for their actions. That's
Oh,
what it
yeah,
comes down
yeah.
to.
And then we get these white knights, these manginas coming in and out of them PUAs, walking in and out of the single baby mama houses, and then they look at those boys and they go, the first thing you always hear them say is, "Hey, you got to be a strong little man for your mother and be the man of the house." To a little boy, that's not his job.
Exactly, and it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be
No.
like that at all.
Yeah, I heard that a couple dozen times in my life, and I always want to just reach over and smack the guy in the mouth that says that. Oh, you got to be the strong little man for your mama now. Your mama needs you to. And my ex-wife put my sons through that. He had to be the strong little man because she was so fucked up that he had to go and take all that on his chest as a boy when all he really needed to be doing was running around and playing and going to school and being a happy fucking child.
Jeez. I don't know. I would have to go with your theory on smacking them upside the head, though.
Oh yeah,
I think I should start doing
I
that.
just seen that in a movie the other day. It was the newest. Yesterday I seen it, and I just poked my head back, and I was like, "Damn!" It was that the newest. It was not new. It's what's the guy with the mask on? Is this Zorro movie with Johnny Depp?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
there was a
it's
black.
got
I
he's
think so.
yeah, he plays the Cochise or whatever, Tonto, and then the guy that plays Zorro, he looks down at the boy and he's leaving. The man's leaving. He's going. I got to go right off with Tonto and do this Zorro the thing, and he looks down at the boy and he goes, "You're the strong little man. You got to take care of your mom." No, that boy doesn't. His job's being a kid, you know. That woman, she should step up and be the strong
Exactly.
independent women we hear about that they say is and they're trying to make, but they're failing terribly because they just they're just not that. They're just not about all that. They're all about themselves. uh, it'll take an evolutionary process of probably another million years for a woman to learn how to pick up a fucking box.
God. I think the problem in this century is there's too much egalitarianism going on. What I mean by that is there's too many women that depend on men, even though they're supposed to claim independency and they're supposed to actually take care of themselves now because
Yeah,
they follow
yeah,
feminism. But
yeah. You're supposed to
it's
take
not the
care of
case.
yourself. Most men don't understand that theory either of egalitarianism. Uh, Women are sexually cryptic. They hide they hide their when they're fertile for a reason because they want all the rest of the men in the society to think that that's their baby. All the men that they did, they want them all to think that that's the baby so they can collect the most amount of resources from the society. And that's the way women are. In an egalitarian sense, uh, egalitarianism is for women. But then I hear these men go, we live in an egalitarian where we got to. No, egalitarian is for women, capitalism is for men. Uh,
Exactly.
we need to split those two things right down the middle and say, don't come on our half, and we'll stay out of your fucking half. Uh, but uh, you know,
Exactly. And this system right now, it's not working.
no, it's
It's
not
not working.
working.
No.
I believe in expanding egalitarianism for women, uh, because that's just the way it is, anyways. And then, but in that same sense, same sense, we have to say, well, men, we work in a capitalist society. It's sort of a 999 thing. When he said 999, he said, well, you pay. Everybody pays 9% taxes, 9% to the state, and 9% on their food, and everybody pays the same thing, and that includes corporations. No more, no more, and a corporate 9% corporate taxes, and everybody pays the same. And then we truly live in a society that takes care of these things, and nobody has to worry about it. But right now, we're chasing our arms. The idea of chasing your arms, and the Republicans are going, well, it's the goddamn baby mamas and it's the goddamn deadbeat dads, and it's the McCarthyisms. It's these people. No, it's just egalitarianism, and what you're saying when you say that it's these people, it's these people, it's these people, is you don't want to pay your part in egalitarian society that women are fucking sexually cryptic.
Right. Not only that, it's like I said before, they're not taking responsibility.
They're
Just
not
want to
taking,
blame
yeah,
these guys. Well, if you quit sleeping with the wrong guys and making poor choices, you wouldn't
right.
be where you're at right now. You
Right,
know?
we hold women responsible for that, and we say, okay, yeah, we'll give you this. Your life will be diminished if you have children, and you're going to go to one of those buildings where we safeguard the women, the man-free areas, and then that's where they're going to be the rest of your life. But don't be bringing fucking men into there. And then the beggars and the pussy hounds will have a fucking fit about that because they just they hang around those places and they just want to keep having babies irresponsibly, and the irresponsible women want to keep having babies irresponsibly because they don't understand the system. Uh, yeah, it's just craziness. It's just madness.
Exactly, and what's more crazy about it is they're not catching on. They're still going
They're
through
not
this.
catching on. No,
No,
they want their cake and they want to eat it too. You know that old phrase. They want their cake and they want to eat it. They want to, you know.
yeah, they're still continuing this process and not learning. And they wonder why good men are walking away now, and they always ask that famous question. You all know what it is already.
Where are all the
You
good men
should.
at? Yeah. Yeah. Well, the Mgtows are all walking away. We're strong enough men to do that. Uh, you know, we get this bullshit that oh, the Mgtows are just these. We get that thrown on us that we're all just virgins and ugly guys, and we're some kind of TFL or something. No, we're just. I think we're the strongest. We're the.
Oh God! Whenever a woman says that, I just love that shit because
I
it just makes me want to laugh and just tell them to continue on because it's not about that. It's not about guys not being able to get laid. It's about guys that are setting higher standards now
We're
because they
setting
see
higher standards.
right. They're seeing they're fucking up, and guys like us don't want that shit. We want, well, right now we don't want anything because
We
we
don't want
see most
anything,
of them
yeah.
are like this.
Yeah, we've took control of that situation. We said we're going to walk away. We need all the guys to walk away, but we have these problems with these simps, manginas, PUAs, and pussy beggars, because they don't get the concept.
Exactly.
Son of a bitch. It always boils down to the stupid ones,
There's always going to be a lot of them. I think that's another problem with the whole single mother concept. It's only just, especially if it's a little boy, because it's just a mom trying to raise that boy to be. They can't do that. They cannot raise a boy to be a man.
No, because they can't. Not even. It won't even come close. The boy will never have the experience as a boy with a father. He will never have the skills as a boy with a father. Everybody goes, oh, what skills can a father teach him that a mother can't? Well, that's we think about life in a linear way. Every day, every single moment of that day that the father's around, he's teaching that boy something about being a man.
Exactly. And without that father figure, that's going to screw things up because it's just the mother that's doing all the work.
Yeah, she's never going to teach him how to fix a bike or, she's going to buy him a new bike, and that's what the government wants. She's not going to teach him how to do wiring or, have a skill, or he's never even going to know what skill he's good at, what place he has in society, what he likes the best. And then we see another storage area for men is those girl jobs or those lighter than air jobs where the men haven't figured out what they want to be in life. They're just sitting in cubicles.
Exactly. The only good they're doing is they're teaching these boys how to be sissified men that just want to chase women and get all emotional.
Yeah.
In some cases. Well, actually, I don't even know if it's some. Because there's an awful lot of white knights now.
Oh, God, that's like 80% of society, are just like confused males about that don't get it. And they're going to buy into that and go down that wrong course, and they're going to end up to be the guys in here. And it's, oh yeah, I should have seen that. Yeah, you did.
I know they're going to, and they're going to be confused too because the old ways, courtship and the chivalrous skills, they don't work anymore. They're not going to work because these women have changed.
Yeah, women
they've
have
turned
changed.
into men.
Yeah, in the last 30 years, women have changed a lot. That's what I was saying. What with the PUA thing? What philosophy is there? I hear it all the time from the PUAs that this is a philosophy that they're. What philosophy is there? Can you nail that philosophy down? The philosophy of getting pussy? Men have been doing that for 1,000,000 years. There's no philosophy there.
Honestly, I don't call PUA a philosophy. I call it a scam. I just call it a scam movement. Because that's all they're trying to get is your money. It's
just a big
oh my God.
Movement. It's they're trying to project it as something that what changed in the last 30 years when POA started, and it's just what Shining was saying. It's an alternate mating strategy. So all of a sudden, we've been here a million years on this planet, and all of a sudden we need alternate mating strategies?
Not only that, you know, these techniques are pointless.
They're pointless, yeah. I say
It's only
take a
it's only,
$100 bill, shove it down in the lapel of your jacket, walk in there, and you'll see exactly what women like.
right. I mean, you're just out of PUA. You're only becoming an artificial person, and no man should stoop to that level. They should not go that level because that's not right. You know, you should be able to be yourself freely without talking a certain way or walking a certain way or looking a certain. I could go on with this.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's ridiculous. Just all these tricks. I've studied it before. I've studied it for 4 months, and I was like, nope, I'm out, because this is all just fake shit to me.
Yeah, yeah. Wear high heels and dress up like Michael Jackson. What the fuck?
I know.
That's so not what, you know. If I have to think about what women want in my life and what a proven thing is, women want overt masculinity. They want me as a man. When I look at another man and I say, "Man, that's a disgusting male," that's the male that's fucking. That's when someone looks at me and says, "Man, you're just a big brutish motherfucker, Joe, with hair all over your back and you smell terribly." That's the male women want. There's no trick to it.
Exactly. I mean, it's ridiculous. If you guys type in a website, God, what was it? This was the site I used to be on. Just type in PUAforums.com. It shows a lot of ridiculous techniques and all that you got to learn how to text a girl properly, how to talk to a girl properly. It's like,
Wow.
how should I put this exactly? You're like playing a game, a rigged game. It's ridiculous.
Offer that little payoff at the end that it's not, and that's not worth it. That's their philosophy. Their philosophy boils down to one thing at the end: getting pussy.
Right, and they don't realize, you
That's
know,
yeah,
this girl is judging you on little things. Is that really somebody you want to be with for the rest of your life? Somebody who's like
right.
that?
Yeah, the way you text them, it's like, oh shoot, you know, that's like so stupid. It's ridiculous. And we got Aaron Clary's and the guys over at the Three Kings, or the what is it, the something Kings. They're just buying into that shit, like and because they're selling a product, and you got 1,000 little 18-year-old mangina boys going, okay, this works, and every one of them is so called is living in some castle, driving a BMW, and they're all rich, and they all you know, and all you see when them videos go up is, man, oh, you're just in your mom's house, and when she gets home, you're gonna have to put that camera away.
See, I never really cared for that shit. I used to, but then life experiences taught me to not care for that. So it doesn't. I don't care what I have and what I own right now. That's good enough for me. Just
Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy with what I am, and that's the way I started out this broadcast. Is I've learned how to take my moments in my peak happiness, and just be happy with that, and find those peak happiness moments. And usually we find those peak happiness moments, and they're not with a woman. It's not with all that bullshit. It's just those small peak happiness moments in life. You become happy, and it doesn't. All the other garbage doesn't matter.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Having nice things is fine, but if you're just doing all that for a woman, no, you
Yeah.
shouldn't be doing that.
No, you shouldn't be doing that. You know, a lot of things are rather disappointing when you buy them too. You know, when I was young, I had to have that gorgeous watch. You know, I bought that watch, and then I got it, and all it was some clumsy watch that was breaking out my skin around my wrist. And I was like, yeah. I was like, just, yeah, it was worth nothing. It just sits in my drawer here. Uh, you know, it's what I thought I wanted and what really made me happy was two different things. And we're taught to sacrifice and not think about our own happiness from the time we're just children. So how are we going to know what makes us happy as men?
Exactly, and I was on that. I'm the same way you are when it comes to that. There are certain things I thought I wanted, but once I owned it, it's like, why do I get, I don't give a shit anymore. I already had it. I know what it's like having that certain object or that materialistic thing that I was obsessing over. Now that I have it and had it for a while, I don't care for it.
I don't care for it. It's useless to me. Most things you find out are useless, and life is very, very simple. Once you find what makes you happy in the simplest senses, them are the things that you're gonna have a good day. Having a good cup of coffee in the morning. I always start with that. Yeah, you're not drinking McDonald's swill. You find out what kind of cup of. It starts like that. The little steps that you take.
Exactly.
All day long, the little steps that make you happy. What I want to see when I look at something, and then your life becomes fulfilling, and you're like, oh well, I don't really need all these women around. I don't really need it because I'm happy. I just go do my thing, and if one stops over, I'll treat her like a human. They all think that we treat women like dirt. No, I treat them like human beings, and I expect the same thing out of them that I expect out of my male friends.
Exactly. I mean,
if you're coming over, bring a 6-pack of beer.
there you go.
Don't drink mine. Most women will show up at your house and like, okay, what do you got in the fridge? You got some wine in there for me? No, but you should bring your own fucking beer to the party,
Exactly.
and that's life. It's about responsibility and accountability. Bring your own fucking beer to life. Bring your own whatever you makes you happy. Bring that. But they expect men to be their fucking entertainment all the time.
And that's the problem with most women these days. They fall into the hands of materialism, and they expect that too much out of men.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. It doesn't take a lot to make men happy. She brings a 6-pack over, put it on it, grab that other gaming controller there.
Exactly, but I don't know about them. They ask for the most ridiculous shit these days.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I mean, they want the guy to be 6 feet tall, to have a big dick, to have a nice house, a fancy car. It's like, do you really need all that shit? Why can't you just like me for me?
Yeah, why can't you just, why can't it be more natural and everything? And that presents a problem for our society, too. We've seen the uprise of autistic children. We've seen the uprises of diseases and everything. And I think that generally runs to this artificial situation. What women are choosing men like they're dogs, the fluffier dog, the whiter dog, and everything. And we know what happens when artificial selection becomes prevalent over natural selection. Hip dysplasia, dogs with skin problems, mentally retarded dogs, dogs with Down syndrome. That's why I did that video the other day.
Oh, was that the white tiger? I know you. Well, I think it was your last video you made.
Yeah, I had to switch off there for a second. My son was asking me a password. So, yeah, the white tiger. The white tiger has Down syndrome for a reason. Because somebody thought that somebody wanted to have a house tiger. Somebody wanted to have a tiger. Some human wanted to have a tiger that was better looking. That's what women do now. They want the tallest man with the biggest cock, with the best fur, but we start artificially breeding. Then artificial selection becomes a real thing, and so we got unhealthy mangina men with autism because the chromosomes are getting too close. Then
exactly, and
it's all the chemicals that are pumped into everything. You see, that's what happens when you mess around with nature too much, guys. You're gonna fuck it up.
Yeah. So people got this chromosome thing too. There's only a few guys that I know that understand it, and the rest of scientific community will say that it starts off as a woman. Our biology starts off as a woman, so we're all naturally women. You ever hear that statement out of a feminist?
Yeah, it's
that we
utter,
all,
it's utter bullshit.
it's utter bullshit. The chromosomes start off as two things. It's an XX and an XX and an XY. And
That's just a symbolic representation of the DNA strand. It's got nothing to do with the
that's nothing.
physical
Well, it does have
DNA.
something to do. The Y chromosome is what? It's smaller. You know why it's smaller? Because it needs less information. As soon as that chromosome grows to the full size, it's like a computer. You want your computer overly filled, or you want the less amount of information that you can have in that computer, so it runs better. The Y chromosome is a representation of the perfect chromosome. Everything else is just malformed chromosomes, and they get an XX, and then they continue the breeding cycle looking to improve their diversity. Because they fucked up. They got too close, so it became X. People don't understand that simple concept. When you have a boy, you have a perfect person.
Well, the feminists don't care about facts. They just care about
No, they don't care about facts. They're like, the woman. Everything goes through the woman. It's more validation. The pussy begging chemist and scientific. It must be through the woman. That's what they're saying.
It doesn't matter if it's true or not. It just matters how she's feeling. If she's feeling bad about it.
How she's feeling about it. Yeah. When the reality of is 89% of the genetics comes from the father. But they'll argue to death about that. New device.
Oh yeah.
Where's our resident human biologist?
Yeah.
Do we have a biologist? Do we have a Mgtow biologist found here? These bats.
Mgtow biologist. Yeah, we used to have one. Dark Knight. He'll tell you.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
How could I forget?
Yeah, Dark Knight. He's
Did you ever meet Dark Knight, MJ?
I've heard of him. I heard he closed his channel down now.
Yeah, he rage quit. Goes, fuck you guys. Fuck Mgtow. Fuck all men.
It was weird why he rage quit too, because he rage quit that he didn't think Mgtow was doing enough to help men.
No, I think
What?
I'm going to put this out there. You see what happens when you deal with Stardust? See, when them guys jumped over to Stardust, he fucked up Nico. Nico went down that PUA route.
Yeah,
and
Nico went down.
But what other choice do we have? We have no choice but to go our own way. What do they expect?
Yeah, I mean, well, for fear of sounding a bit cliche, I'm going to draw something from Mgtow United. You know, it's Mgtow or death. Almost leave to Mgtow or death.
Yeah.
I would say death of the masculinity, or death of the male spirit, to say the least. But yeah, I mean, you either going to have to. I don't know. I mean, how do PUAs deal with it? I'm trying to picture myself in their boots. It's like, oh, you're going to have to like dance about and pretend to be happy when she's around and play that dating game shit where you're texting all the time and writing poetry and standing underneath the moonlight 780.
Man, I've already been there shining, and I still, even when I was studying that movement, I could not understand.
Yeah.
I don't get why most guys would want to live that life. I don't. It's an artificial life.
And you're going to have to put up with all the modern women feminist shit. I mean, she expects you to... I don't care what you say. Western women have this certain expectation of men.
Yeah, they do.
And I don't care what you say. She's gonna put that on you.
Yep. Each and every time.
And when you say, you know, if you're going to be like one of these, quote, red pill PUA guys, you're still going to spend money on your clothes, yeah? You're going to buy clothes that you normally wouldn't wear. I mean, what are these idiots wearing now? Skinny jeans, skinny pants and a tight top. You get guys there imitating women, putting this tight top on so we can show his sexy body. And then he's going to be buying a car that he doesn't necessarily need. You know, he doesn't need a car that goes 180 miles an hour. Of course he doesn't. But he's going to get one that's going to attract the ladies, and that they're not cheap. And then he's going to have to be doing his place up, and you know. So even if he's like doing Dutch on saving $10-15 on the meal, he's spending like $80,000 on everything else.
Yeah.
Oh, I
yeah.
know. Not only that, he has to keep up with the bills too on it.
Oh yeah, he's paying the bills. He's taking care of everything after a while, and that becomes a lifestyle to women. Everything's taken care of, and then they become the entitled princesses.
Yeah.
It all starts little with those little rituals we start doing: Valentine's Day, Christmas, buying the dinner, holding the door open. Then it becomes into everything's about that. There's a slow process in that. It's ritual for a reason. It's training these guys to be better providers, so they take care of everything. And then when they see, oh, they wake up one day and they say, oh shit, I'm paying all the bills.
Exactly.
Doing everything, and then the society says, "Yep," and you're going to be paying all the bills after she leaves too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially if
Yeah,
she
because
divorces
guess
you.
what? Because the judge is going to go, "Guess what? You bought into it."
Exactly. And sad thing about that is they don't give a shit.
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
No.
Yep. Guys, I'm going to
End of
have
the
to.
road.
I'm going to have to wrap this up pretty soon. My son wants to take a walk.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make it too late.
All right,
And,
Joe. Well,
Okay.
let's thank everyone for coming in tonight.
Yeah, okay.
It's good. We had a real mix today. Some new. Every time I come in here, it's like new faces.
Yeah,
Look,
look,
Hedy Lukill. Never met this guy
Yeah.
before. Welcome.
okay, Addie Oates, Andy Hill, two new guys to our program. Hedy Lukel, Joey Argon was been around a few weeks. Johnny Midnight, he's always around. Neo 100, Neo 100, Veritech Ace, and all the regular guys. We get a different crowd in the morning.
Yo, never seen Yo. Adam
Yo-Yo,
Oates.
yeah.
Who's Adam Oates? Let's check him out.
Yeah, Adam Oates.
Warhorse has van off. He couldn't stand my barrage of insults.
Yeah, he was kind of mad at you.
He's so sensitive, Warhorse. He's all stern on the outside, but inside he's so what's the word? Cuddly.
Yeah, he's cuddled with us. Yeah, backup fem haters. F3M H8R was in today. Top Dollar was in today.
He was a bit shy.
Mark Reason, yeah. All the regular
Was a
guys.
shy guy.
Yeah. It always starts off with Dr. McCoy and
Yeah, all a bunch of decent guys, and Timothy Blades, of course.
Timothy Blades, Joey Kilo. I don't know who Joey Kilo is, but welcome Joey Kilo if you're still listening.
Yeah, I bet that's Messenger under his secret chat.
He's playing us. Messenger's playing us right now, and he's just
Yeah. Marhaba effect. Eric. Eric, yeah.
Eric, and most of the guys. Okay, and with that, I'm gonna have to rack it up because I really want to go out and take a walk with my son.
All right, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for me having. Sorry, I'm trying not to step on anybody here. I know I have a tendency to do that. Thanks for having me in the podcast. I really.
You're welcome,
appreciate it.
brother. You're welcome.
Yeah, coming
Anytime.
in.
Come back anytime.
Yeah, it's always
Okay,
better.
and I'm actually having one. I'm having one May 7th at 8 p.m. I just announced it in my last live stream that I did on my Black Desert Online gameplay. So
8 p.m. What is that? Central Time?
nope, Eastern Standard.
Eastern
Eastern
Standard.
Standard. He's in
Yeah,
Michigan.
that might be. That's midnight for me, I think.
Yep, that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
That's
Yeah.
1 p.m. That might be a bit late for me, brother.
Will you still be able to make it?
I doubt it. Not at 1 a.m. It'll be 1 a.m. UK time. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern time is 1 a.m. UK time. So that might be a bit late for me.
Oh man.
No, that's on Friday, Saturday afternoon. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe if you schedule the next one earlier, I certainly more than happy to jump in and catch up with all your side of what's his name? Lucan, something Lucan. Arden Lucan, that's his name.
Oh, Arden Lucan? Yeah,
Yeah.
I still talk to him. He's
Get hold of
one of my
Tiger as
closest
well.
friends.
Get hold of Tiger. I think you've linked him as well. I think he's still about.
I gotta get him back. Me and Arden want him back. We definitely want him back. We want you back in, Dimitri, all those guys that I mentioned in my last video.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yes.
we'll let Joe close down then. Joe, you can close down, and we'll meet up
Okay.
soon enough, I hope.
And with that, just be the best Mgtow you can be. Be careful out there, man. There's booby traps everywhere for you, and take care of yourselves and have fun.
All right, peace, guys.